the last 3 minutes of you guys waiting. Hi. If you've followed along on my posts or you read some of my posts on Facebook and social media, um, you'll know a little bit about what's going on. I just wanted to say that Mona wanted me to go live on a platform called StreamYard. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not comfortable with it because I've never used it before. But I just said, why can't we just go live on YouTube? And then it became like, I don't know what I say, a power struggle of this, that, and the other. But I'm comfortable with YouTube. She's on YouTube. So it's like, why couldn't we just do it here? But okay. If she wants to, I sent her an invitation to come. I sent her a link to join if she wants to join in. If she feels up to it, she can just come on in whenever. But in the meantime, I'll just guys tell you a little bit of what's going on. If you read the posts, if you didn't, if you're just here because you love me and you support me, I appreciate that as well. Um, in my post, I basically told everybody just a real basic amount of the story. So before my kidney cancer journey, was I found out that there was some negative things said about me, my size and my appearance, um, my talent and my smarts or whatever it was on a, a blog post called The Gossip Bakery, which basically, just like it sounds, it's a gossip format forum where women can get together and just um, talk about content creators or influencers. Like, I don't like the term influencer because I don't try to influence anybody. I'm just trying to here to teach and create and stuff. So I knew that I had some like negativity out there for me anyway. But really, it got bad when I came on and shared that was diagnosed with stage 4 renal cell carcinoma, which is kidney cancer. And my kidney cancer does look different than most people with stage 4. I'm very fortunate; it has not affected my lungs yet or ever. But it went straight to my bones. I found out that I had cancer because I actually thought my knees were going bad again or worse. And it turned out that there was a giant tumor down there that actually ended up breaking the bone and then hurt the hip. And the thing was a tumor up here. And so that's how we found out. So ever since I started sharing my journey, I've had people create reaction channels to my videos. And basically, they either copy parts of my videos or they respond to parts of my videos or just respond to things that I said in my videos. And they haven't been very, like I wrote in the post, my art teacher, Elaine Kane, has just so much wisdom. She said, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But I realized that they weren't saying very nice things. They weren't just like um, talking about what I was saying. They were contradicting what I was saying I was lying, saying I was making things up and I was exaggerating, and then calling me lazy and saying that I'm just manipulative and narcissistic. And the things just went on and on and on. Well, they went so far as to actually had sent us like hate letters that had like urine on them, and they sent people to our house from like the DHSS, and the paramedics came one time. I mean, it just really has gotten like out of hand. But you know what? Truth is, I've been picked on my whole life. I have no problem. When it first started, I would just go and be like, I'm sorry that this was a misunderstanding. I'm sorry I got some facts maybe wrong. I don't really know what you heard that you think you heard or whatever. But I knew that it was just something like I tried to fix it. And then they just, whatever proof I showed, it was always like, you're just making that proof up, or you faked that proof. You faked those images. You faked those scars. You faked those videos. You don't really have cancer. You just broke your leg. You just have osteoporosis. Yes. It just went on and on and on. And it's been going on and on for the last 3 years. Um, so I usually just let them go when they start to affect my family because they had gotten in like Jim's earworm for a while there. And it was really affecting my relationship that we had to like nip that in the bud. And we called them out and was like, this was that and that was this. But um, as of really recently, they've really made my home life unbearable, like unbearable. Um, the accusations haven't stopped, even though I didn't know Mona was not my friend with good intentions when I told her I would take her to my next oncology appointment. Now, these women forever were trying to get me to put my oncologist on camera. And I'm like, no, there's privacy issues. I'm not going to put my oncologist on camera or his voice. He didn't agree to any of that. So I took her and I FaceTimed her, and little did I know that she was FaceTiming on a live stream. She was like basically sharing my entire doctor's appointment with all of these women who hated me. So some of them actually said, oh, then she's not lying about having stage 4 cancer and that she's not in treatment right now. But nothing else changed. Everything else was the same. Everything else, every other accusation was 100% correct. And not correct, but like still going on. So I actually posted the question like, well, why, if you found out I wasn't lying about this, there was the big thing you told I was lying about. Why do you think I'm lying about a lot of stuff? It's been a rough road, I'm not gonna lie. It's been an up and down road. So first, when I first found out, they sent me to a special oncology orthopedist because my right femur was all kinds of messed up. And I found out then that I also had a tumor in my lower lumbar. I had actually 3 tumors on my femur. I had on my iliac crest. We knew about one on my collarbone and my T7 and my both shoulders and my right upper arm and my right rib, my 6th rib on the right side. Whatever. Like we knew about all these ones. But what I didn't know was that there was this giant one in my spine. And I think after talking to the person who reads the reports, they thought it was like my kidney had moved over or the nothingness of my kidney or whatever. They didn't know, they didn't think it was the big giant spot in my spine because it hit right behind my belly button. So they fitted me for something called a TLSO. If you've been following the journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's sort of like a big plastic turtle shell that's fit to my body, and they had to make many adjustments. And I wasn't supposed to sit up or walk or be anything higher than 35 degrees without putting this on, which made home life very difficult in the beginning because I didn't have the strength to get to the like the bladder strength to get to the bathroom in time after putting this brace on. But I was told that I could sit up for a certain period of time to put it on. So what I did was I moved the commode next to the bed and I basically sat up and pivoted to the commode, and I would go to the bathroom without having to put my brace on. So this became a huge problem for them. They weren't in my bones and they weren't in my skin and they weren't in my life, but it became a problem for them because I actually had a commode that I was asking my husband to empty. Um, just so you know, my husband is a dear. We had a commode situation when I first had my surgery back, my first surgery on my torn meniscus back in 2011. So it's not something, he's ever not seen before. Plus, he saw me take care of my dad. He's seen me work at the group homes and the day habs. So he knows, like, he's a really good caretaker when he puts his mind to it and stuff. But it's been hard on him because, when your partner is terminal, you like, what do you do with your life type of thing. So that became an issue for them. Wearing the TLSO, and while I was doing my first round of treatment, which was oral chemotherapy of Cabometyx and the intravenous immunotherapy, and I never remember the name of it, but I developed I guess it would be a pseudo, maybe like a pseudo uh, autoimmune. It triggered autoimmune. It triggered a condition called lichen planus, which was basically caused this rash to be all over my skin. You can still see pink scarring here and here. And basically anywhere that the brace hit, across the front of my chest, under my arms, and across the two big, behind each shoulder blade, where rashes had developed. Also between my thighs, because I'm over, like I'm heavy and I got thunder thighs and they rub. So those 4 places, or 5 places, I guess it would be. No, 5 places were broke out in this terrible rash that sloughed all the skin off, and it was this bright pink, felt like a sunburn. And by the time I could find a dermatologist that didn't take my insurance, but that I could afford to pay, she biopsied it. She told me what it was, and then she sent me for treatment for it. By the time that happened, it was already like open and raw, and we were trying to build new skin on it. It was just a disaster. It was very, very difficult to put the brace on. It was almost impossible to sit up on it because it was so much pain. Even with like lidocaine. Jim, it's people commenting like you.
Yeah.
Anything, they questions from me or just
Not
still
yet.
listening? Okay.
Not yet. I got
That's
one
okay.
or two people. I'm probably going to.
Well, no, just let them go and
Well, all right.
address it. Can I just saying, just keep
Okay.
right on it? Okay. I'm sorry. I see things on the bottom of the screen popping up and um, can't see because of my vision. So by the time this all happened, it was so hard. I couldn't sit up. I was basically like, had to lay in bed, mostly like on my stomach. We put the wound care bandages on. The visiting nurse would come and Jim would show them how to change the dressing. I showed Jim how to change the dressings, and then Jim showed the nurse how we were doing it. And they were like, good job. So it was a lot of like craziness, you know? Well, as time went on, things got better. I stopped doing the Capomedics. Oh, also the Capomedics had opened all the scarring from my surgeries on my right leg. I had one long scar by my knee, which was on the lower distal femur, and then I had one on my hip, which was really quite little, and then one between them, which basically were those were the three tumors were. Lay down, baby. Want to lay down? Oh, she's looking for more toys. The Cabomedics had made all those scars open up and become really horrible looking scars. It also gave me mucositis and all these like crazy stuff happening with my lips. So I got off of it. Um, when I finally got to the point where the wounds were actually like healed better. Um, in the meantime, I had done some uh, radiation on my shoulders, and then I had radiation on my spine and my leg. Um, by the time that the wounds were just about like healed, there was just down to like minimal scabbing. I went ahead and I started the Capmedics back because I really want to fight this thing. Like I really wanted to fight this thing. Well, I didn't wait long enough, and the skin was really not ready yet. And it just sort of opened back up again. I had tunneling on the left, on my left, and then I had a little bit of tunneling on the right. But the right side was much smaller. When it first started, I said it looked like Long Island, and the one on my left looked like Africa, like flat out Africa. This one didn't really look like Long Island; it was just long, but this one was definitely Africa. So I had to get like I went through 3 months, 6 month course treatment. No, 3 months. I went 3 months of Calametics again. The tumors were shrunk down again, and I got off of it to let my back heal. Finally, after almost a year, it was like 10 months of being off of treatment. I talked to my oncologist. The back was great. Um, and I said, let's try this other, maybe he said, let's try another chemotherapy. It was oral and it was what terrible. I hated it. It was the worst. It actually triggered hypothyroidism, and it made me I only took it for 3 months, and it took me an additional 6 months to recover from it. And I want to curse and say shit you not, but I shit you not, it took that long. I've only just started to feel a little bit better between the two courses of Cabomedics. I was great. I was sitting up with the brace, without the brace. When we got rid of the brace, I was sitting up without the brace. I'd cook at the table. I'd try to do some work around the house with Jim, whatever it was. But after this last treatment, like every cell in my body just decided it wanted to quit. Like every cell. And it took me 6 months after stopping it to actually recover some of me back. I got a lot of people saying, you're never going to build up your stamina when you don't move. You're never going to do this. I said, look, I love you all and I appreciate everybody. I was an athlete for my entire childhood up until like adulthood, and I know what it's like to build your stamina back up again. This isn't that. This isn't that. I always had to do that at the end of every winter. You have to build up your stamina back. Get out in the garden. First couple of days when you're pulling weeds, you're like, oh my God, did I ever pull weeds before? And then by like a couple of weeks, you're into spring and you're hiding Easter eggs and catching them with your nieces and nephews. So this wasn't that, and this isn't that. And if anybody ever has somebody they love with chemotherapy going through treatment, please just listen to them when they tell you that. Nobody's making this up. I have always been overweight, and I have been fighting arthritis since I'm 20, and I have never been like this before. I have been working, like I worked 3 jobs at one point. I worked full time plus at one point. I worked overtimes and just picked up extra hours. Like this was me. I was a mover. I was a shaker. I was plus size, but I was a mover and I was a shaker. I love to dance. I love to go out and party. This is not something I could recover from like I had in the past. So this last few months that this has been going on has really been the pinnacle. It's been the worst ever. I have a family member who was for one reason or another not able to take dementia medication, and we have noticed. My husband and I have noticed that their force, like life force, has changed. Things that would normally just be unheard of were like coming out, and things like behavior and basically these women have gotten into her head. And though she doesn't think that, we can see it 100%. We can see the influence on the outside. Um, the situation at my home has now become eruptive. Like, before I started this last course of chemotherapy, we were hoping to move to some place that didn't have humidity. If you have arthritis, you know that humidity and arthritis are vital enemies. And I was noticing that even when I was off treatment and had quality of life, I really didn't have quality of life because everything hurt from the arthritis. Turns out the places that we wanted to go were a little too expensive, and then when I started this last course of treatment, I couldn't even imagine packing up my dresser. Never mind like making a suitcase. Never mind moving somewhere else. So things change all the time, like plans change and what are we doing? And we don't know what we're doing. And one day it's this, the next day it's that, and it's like, I don't want to move, I don't want to stay, I don't want to move out of the town, I want to move out of the town, I want a bigger house, I want a smaller house. So it's just things that change all the time, and you're like, we're trying to keep up with what the three of us all want and what the three of us can get and what the three of us should have. Like, these are all the things that are just sort of like juggling in the air. As of late, it's gotten, like I said, out of hand with the things that they're saying about me, which I really don't know where they're coming from, and I don't know why. Like, I could see if I had a vile channel. If I was a person that just did mukbangs and fed fatties and just gossiped about people and was just a horrible human being, I could see where you would want to take me down a notch or two. But what the heaven's name did I ever do to any one of these people to want them to treat me like this? I never met any of them in person, not one single one of them. So what? So I do know that in the beginning of before I was actually diagnosed, but when I did have the pain and the broken leg that I didn't know of, we were waiting for all the tests and everything. That Jim had made a video on his channel that he basically did a rant, and he complained a lot about me. And I know that that was sort of fuel for their fire, but none of it was true. And he redacted most of it. I mean, not none of it was true, but it was some of it was just his perspective. Some of it was just his opinion. But he redacted it because he realized at the end that it was not true or not valid or anything like that. So I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know. Or like, I've had friends tell me they're jealous of your confidence. I've had people tell me that they're jealous of your talent. And I've had people tell me this, that, and the other thing. But none of it none of it is makes it permissible. None of it makes it permissible. Regardless of whether or not you thought that I was sick, I could be a stranger and you don't know me. And if you don't believe I'm sick, go away. They were accusing me of spending hundreds of dollars in prosthetic makeup and hiring actresses to be nurses so that I can get like gifts from people. I ended up getting like a grand total of like, I don't know, maybe $500 in cash over the course of a year that was gifted to me. And I'm like, I wouldn't have even made any money. You're telling me I'm hiring left and right all these people and I'm making makeup every time I want to do a video. And just the stuff was nonsensical. And it was very nice to have people be generous at the time because I was not able to create as much on YouTube and I wasn't making money. And this was before I actually got SSA, the Supplemental Security Income, SSI, I'm sorry. Um, so this was before that. So I had like, we were struggling on the financial struggle bus because trips into the city and Jimmy having to take trips in the city. And then when he comes to the city, then he's got to get like he's got to have food, and he's got what did I had to go to rehab, and he had to bring me clothes. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that like came up. I was very blessed to have friends and family that really were like they had my back and they really were there for me. And I knew that that was the most important thing. So whatever anybody else was saying about me, I really didn't care because I knew it wasn't true. And that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day. The only person you have to answer to at the end of the day is that chick sitting back at you at the mirror. When she knows the truth, she's the one. All right, Jim said I have questions or comments or you want me to address anything or
Awesome.
oh sure. Mona, you're watching, you can come on. Just link in your text message. You wanna come on? We're still here. Anytime you're ready.
Well, she's doing her own live, and basically they're saying that the reason why you didn't want to do it is because you're a chicken.
Oh no, I'm here talking. Like they can come on and ask me all the questions they want. They can even come in the comments and ask me questions. You'll ask me.
But anyhow, let's see. Let me go back a little bit. Sorry, I haven't seen the trolls yet, Margaret. But if they're Riley Denver, I don't know why you're confused because she's putting it out there. As for Jerry and Lisa being friends, I don't know.
Lisa asked us not to talk about her anymore, so we won't. Thank you, though.
Yeah. Big Mama has been the biggest questionnaire.
Okay.
Well, not questionnaire, but comments.
What does she got to ask or say?
I'm trying to go back
Okay.
to where she started because that's when things started kind of going. What? First thing she says is that she tore her meniscus, never used a commode. I'm an RN, and so much of what you say medically is just not right. Well, everybody started jumping on her.
Oh, Big Mama, tell me what I'm saying that's wrong. I used a commode when I tore my meniscus because of the surgery. They gave me a walker, and my old house was old, and my walker didn't fit in the bathroom. So I couldn't get into the toilet. I couldn't get onto the toilet. Because once I was able to not have to use the walker, we put the commode over the toilet just to have it elevated. I had an old house that was built in the mid-century modern. It was built in the 60s and the toilet was really small and really low. Even when my dad was sick, we put the commode over the toilet so that you can have hands to get up and those types of things. We only used the commode at home for the first couple of days because then my physical therapy gave me permission. Oh look, it's a low battery and I have it plugged in. Is it plugged? Oh, it's not plugged in. Plugged in now. I've had it plugged in the whole time and apparently not plugged in properly. Anyway, the commode was only for the first couple of days until physical therapy gave me permission not have to use the walker to go through the bathroom. So just so you have an idea, everybody's not the same. Everybody doesn't live in the same house. And in fact, when I tore my meniscus back then, the very first day of my surgery that evening, I asked the CNA to come and help me wipe in the bathroom. And she said, well, who helps you at home? And I was like, what? And I really didn't understand what she meant. I was like, no, ma'am, I run a group home and I help other people. I can't twist like I would normally do. I'm a big girl and I would twist back there to wipe my tushy. And I can't do that right now because my knee is like, so that's sort of funny. So everybody's journey is different, as you know, just like everybody's cancer journey is different. But Big Mama got any more questions? Okay. Mom, I should have sent you the link and as I could talk loud and they can hear me over there. Mom's like, what? I said, I should have sent you the link so that when I'm talking in the microphone that you can hear me. Like that's what I meant. I'm talking on your iPad. Jim.
All right.
Okay. Are you commenting to people on the other channel?
Yep.
Don't. So if you want to know what's going on as far as the whole situation is that I reached out to Mona after a live last week and I said, this is it. I'm done. We have to fix. We have to fix this. It's over. It has to be done. I can't live the rest of my life like this. I can't spend all of my energy combating all of the hate and the nonsense and all of the manipulation and BS that you guys are putting me through. And I reached out to her because I thought she was the most sensible person. And I asked her if we could do Friday or Saturday night. I gave options, And she said she was going to do a walkathon on Friday and Saturday. So she asked if we could do it Thursday, and I couldn't do it Thursday because of the schedule. So I said, "What day is good for you next week?" And she said, "Let's do it Monday." And I was like, "Okay." So she picked Monday. She picked the time, and then she was going to send me a link. And I was like, "Well, I'll get the link. You know, it's YouTube or whatever." And she sent me this link for this thing called StreamYard, and I don't know StreamYard. Sent a link to my YouTube channel, and then she posted this thing about StreamYard. So I was kind of confused, and I was unexpected. What, Mom? Oh, okay. So I think Jim just told me that they're on there accusing me of being chicken, but no, it was my idea to do it. So I don't know what I would be chickening out of. But I really just want to get it settled. I just want it to be settled. And I was also going to say that's why you have to be vertical when you do a side by side live with somebody. Your camera has to be vertical, so when people watch it like this, they see just the two people filling up the screen. So I started this live and I sent her a link and I was hoping that she would join us, but still waiting and wait and see if she does. But the other thing with with I don't know StreamYard. Like I would have had to download an app, and my phone is so full, and you could see that it's dying because it's got so many apps on it and everything. It's like, I don't know, another thing I have to do. I have to do Zoom for kidney cancer meetings, and I have to do like anyway. Got Marco Polo, TikTok. Any more?
No,
Big Mama doesn't have anything else to ask.
I couldn't follow her, so
Well, just read them. You don't have to follow her. What do you mean you couldn't follow her? Like, couldn't keep up with what she was
Right.
writing? Oh, okay. You just want to read the next thing that you see, even if it's out of order.
Yeah.
Okay. So those of you who
That
don't
my eye
know
was starting to blur. So
that if those of you who don't know, because of I've had type 2 diabetes since 2010. Well, I've had it since 2006 now, I know, but I wasn't diagnosed in 2010. I have something called macular edema and diabetic retinopathy. So it makes it really hard for me to see. Everything's kind of fuzzy, especially up close. I need 5.0 readers. Let's just put it that way. Um, I can't get glasses for it because it's constantly changing with my blood sugar. So I just have to. So this little tiny print, this is what I would have to do to read these comments with glasses on, and you'd see the top of my head. So that's why my husband's over here reading me the comments. Problem is, he likes to censor things that he thinks is going to hurt me, and I really just want to have him just read me everything. So, like I was reading it for myself. I just have to put my feet up now because my back's starting to hurt me. So bear with me. Thank you. We also didn't have dinner yet because it was supposed to be fend for yourself. And I was so busy trying to make posts to let everybody know I was coming here. I didn't fend nothing for myself. What you got there?
well, I've got an idiot who must be from.
Don't comment. Just read it. Just pretend you're not
Basically,
eating eyes.
keeps on saying that you need to join her. That yard stream is easy.
What's going to have to do with yard stream being easy? I said that. I didn't say it was hard.
Yeah.
I said I don't have memory for it on my phone, and people can only go to her channel to watch it. Seems a little one-sided, don't you think? She
Well,
actually,
if you want me to, I can. I've got StreamYard on my phone, but it's under my account.
well, yeah, that's not going to help.
Okay.
I mean, unless she wants to send the thing to you. Does she want to ask her to send the link to you?
I've already got it.
No, the link for her live.
Oh.
Yeah, because I wouldn't care. I just want to keep this up so you guys can see and hear and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I asked her to go live on YouTube. This is YouTube. I know that that's YouTube too, but it's not YouTube like it's YouTube. It's StreamYard YouTube. I don't even know StreamYard has like security measures. Like, I'm just not going to download some random app because somebody told me to. People that I trusted who betrayed my trust want me to trust them again. And You know the old saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I will not be shamed for that. Hey, bub, what are you doing? Did you eat? You got a full belly like you ate your dinner. Daddy give you good dinner,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What? What? Did you send it?
No.
Oh.
I already had it.
The string to her link? To her thing?
Yeah.
Oh. She sent it to you?
No.
Okay, Mama. Jimmy, can I either have a pillow or she needs to come off me?
Oreo, get out.
Come here. Come. Let's get the pillow. Come on. It's okay. Sorry, she's a 55-pound mixed breed of muscle and digs her paws. Oh. Brings- Is it for you or for me?
Oh, I set it up. I'm gonna hand you my phone so you can just use it.
Hey. What? Okay. Jim said he had this app on his phone already. Hey, Jim said he had this app on his phone already, so I could have just done this. Oh, no? It wanted me to download an app when you sent me the link. Is it just the website? Oh. Who else is on here with us? Okay. Is anybody getting reverb from my live too? Is anybody getting a reverberation from my live? Because my live is going on YouTube in the back. Okay. I just thought you joining me, it wasn't about control. I could have joined you on YouTube as well. It's just that when you do that, people who follow each individual person can comment on each individual person's page, as opposed. Oh, I'm sure. Well, it's okay. So what do you got for me? So what do you got for me? Well, I said I have questions. I said, can I ask questions too? Do you want me to start? Oh, sure. So the first question I have is, once you all found out that I do have stage 4 renal cell carcinoma, and I was not lying about that, why did everything else that you believe that I'm doing not just disappear with that as well? Okay. Right. Okay. The live stream that I was doing with Jim? No, I don't. I did not say that at all. And if you listen to it better, you could say that's the lady. Okay, that's fine. You don't. If you heard something different, then that's fine. What I hear when I watch it back is that I said that's the lady who created the video about me. Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine. So, okay, number one. Okay. Yeah. You've told me that. You've told me that before. Oh, absolutely not. No, he's not. Quite the opposite, actually. Jim, are you scared of me? Like narcissist? Okay. Okay.
that. And
Okay.
two, some of the comments and some of the facial expressions that you have towards Sally really break my heart.
Some of the comments I have towards Sally, I see, understand the facial expressions. We went over this in a live stream. I think Queen tagged my picture or whatever, but I can't see her across the room, right? Because my vision. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Yeah.
When I try to see her, it's a different story. And sometimes she tells things that she doesn't she misremembers. And sometimes I have queries. Like I have a query on my face, like, where is that story coming from? You know what I mean? And I appreciate that you're looking out for her. You say you're looking out for her.
I'm not saying it.
Well, you think you are, but you know what? She is.
I love that woman just like she's my grandma.
I appreciate you saying that, but if you did, you wouldn't want her to live by herself.
No, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
She hasn't taken medicine in 2 weeks, and she lives with us. She barely eats.
What? I haven't taken medicine in 2 weeks?
Didn't you say your medicine would the doctor wouldn't refill until you did blood work, and you haven't taken it in 2 weeks?
There was a time.
Well, that was before. I'm asking you about right now.
I'm taking it now.
You
every
said
day.
What medicine are you taking right now every day?
All of it.
Mom, yesterday, okay, hold on, guys. Yesterday, we had a conversation that you didn't have any medicine, none of your refills, and you wouldn't refill anything until you got blood work. This was a conversation with yesterday
I do have
morning.
my medicine. I have several weeks worth of medicine. Yes, I do have to get a blood test, which hopefully will happen Wednesday or Thursday.
I appreciate you don't have to yell at me, but that is not what you told us yesterday. Jim was sitting here and he knows exactly what you said. You said you didn't have medicine, you haven't been taking it because you didn't have it because he wouldn't refill it for you.
No.
Why would you need him to refill it if you had 6 weeks worth?
I don't need a refill right now. I have one. Yes, I have one. The Remeron. It does need to be refilled.
Is that the one that helps you sleep?
Yes.
That needs to be muted.
Okay.
What does?
This thing with Sally. Just mute it.
No. You're accusing me of something that I'm trying to clear up.
They're trying to clear the thing is you say I'm accusing you of something. Jerry, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
You don't think that this is an accusation that I'm not taking care of my mother-in-law and that I haven't tried to for years?
Okay, the thing though, she doesn't necessarily need to be taken care of. She needs to be worked with beside maybe, but not taken care of. She's not an invalid, Jerry.
First of all, you don't live here. That's one thing. You don't see the struggle it takes her to get from her chair to the refrigerator to get a soda. So please do me a favor. I appreciate what you're saying, but you don't know. And the second thing is, I
don't appreciate what I'm saying. You think that somebody's gotten in my head.
No, I think you've gotten in her head. And you told her things about me that are not true.
You're just mad.
Oh, I'm very mad. Yes, I'm very mad. Are you kidding? Why shouldn't I be?
You want to know why you're mad?
Yeah, because you're all making bullshit up and everybody's believing you.
That was her decision.
What was her decision?
She's the one that made the decision to move out. She's the one that told us she wanted to move out. Yeah, that was her decision.
Okay, so Mom, I'm putting it all out there. Do you know we were going to go buy a house together? She wanted to have her own space. She wanted to have her own little time. Let me finish. Let me finish. When we were going to go buy our own place, she wanted her own little tiny house, and she wanted it to not even be on the same property. We were going to have two mobile homes in a 55 plus community. Then it got to the point where she realized she can't live that far away from us. So she wanted to buy a piece of property where she could put a tiny house on. Okay, then we want to look at the house in Salem, and all of you got in her head that she couldn't buy. You know, you can get a permit for anything as long as you pay for it. You people are just ignorant, and I don't like it.
She's gonna pay for it, Jerry.
Yes, she's got to pay for it. She would have to pay to put a tiny house on the property in Salem. Excuse me? Excuse me? You're all talking at the same time.
Pay your own way in life.
I've been paying my own way since I'm 11 fucking years old.
Carrying your way. You don't pay your phone bill.
What are you talking about? It's a family phone bill and internet package. And I asked Mom to pay it when Jim lost his job. Before that, I paid the phone bill.
Okay, Jerry, but the point is Jim has been out of work.
Yes, and when Jim went out of work, I asked Mom at the time, she agreed yesterday that was what she remembered, if she would help cover Jim while he was out of work because she wanted him to try to apply for Social Security.
Okay, and what if Sally doesn't want to cover it anymore, Jerry?
She should say something to me, not to you. Don't you think? Or to Jim, even.
Okay. She did tell you on your live that day that she did.
What did she tell me on the live?
She said that she didn't want to go with them plans because you asked her on your live.
What plans?
She told you.
The phone plan?
Yes.
She didn't want to go with the phone plan?
You guys, let's all try to keep calm so we don't want Jerry to storm off.
I'm not storming off. You guys, I'm not afraid of you ladies.
I know, but it's got to be hard to have all of us start.
Yeah, I can't hear you for sure.
Let me just say, I live with my dad. He's 86 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I live with my dad. My dad don't own shit.
Okay.
This house is paid for.
Okay.
Paid for.
Okay.
His money that he gets in every month is his money. He retired twice for it.
Perfect. That's a good story for you.
It is a good story for me.
Yeah, similar to my story before I moved here.
And you're very good.
Excuse me? No. That was the story that I had before I lived here with my dad. I said it's the same story I had when I lived with my dad.
Okay, and you're blessed right now because you've been able to stay where you're at. And Sally has been picking up the slack.
What slack? The phone bill?
But Sally, Jerry, she pays the mortgage.
Yes, and we pay everything else except the phone bill. And we have split it since we moved in together.
Do you want a cookie?
Excuse me?
Why go to a section house apartment and pay your own bills and let Sally go live in her apartment?
Sally can go live in a retirement home. I said that that's she wants to do, that's fine. But you have to realize, and I said this to her yesterday in tears, we bought this house together. It's only in her name because she was getting a VA mortgage that was much lower interest rate than anything we could get. Excuse me?
How much money did you put on the mortgage?
We have split the bills 50-50. When we first moved in together, Mom paid the mortgage, and I paid the electricity, which when we first moved in was $1,000 a month until he got into balance billing. Why? Why are you only concerned about the mortgage? So Sally's sitting in the house dark with no food and no water? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Jerry,
Mona,
what?
what?
Understand is Sally was living there before y'all moved there.
We were not. She was not. We bought this house together. She was
Not in the house,
right. She was in Rolla.
the room before y'all moved.
Correct. And she was also 13 years younger. Oh, go ahead.
Jim has been out of work for over a year.
Yes.
And now Jim can't go to work because he has a settlement against him
What?
for $13,000.
No, he doesn't.
Look at this shit.
Okay.
Listen, I know what the court says, but we have a lawyer, and you are. That's what I'm saying. You guys aren't privy to everything. Just because we share some things doesn't mean you get everything.
You not know that is common knowledge.
It's not common knowledge, Mona.
Anybody can look up.
They can look it up that he's had. Okay, Mona, he doesn't have a settlement against him. He was brought to court, and our lawyer from our debt consolidation company, which is holding that debt, put the note back to the court, and now we're countersuing them. So you don't know everything. That's what I'm saying.
Until the countersuit.
I don't care what's still on the public record. I'm telling you what it is. And he can go back to work tomorrow if he felt good enough to. Nobody's keeping him home.
Okay, that's another thing.
What?
Have you ever told him that he does feel good enough to work?
Did I ever tell him he does feel good enough to work?
Because you know.
Wait, hold on. Are you asking me if...
If you don't encourage somebody to feel better, and they're depressed anyway, they're gonna think they don't feel better.
Jim, do I encourage you every day to do whatever makes you good? Okay, but I don't understand what you mean.
Jerry said that she didn't want him to work.
No, I didn't say that at all.
I will find those clips and I
You
will post them.
go right ahead. You go right ahead. You splice together whatever you need to.
I don't splice nothing together.
What I had said, and they're probably taking it out of context, was it would be great if we moved to Colorado so that he could take care of me. How does that not work? He can get paid to take care of me in Colorado.
Because don't lie, Jerry.
Okay, because
She's
why?
not lying, you twat.
Because why? Why did I say I didn't want him to work?
Because he was taking care of.
No, he's not doing a very good job of that either. He's doing the best he can. He's doing.
Toss him under the bus all the
I'm not throwing him under the bus. It's the truth.
time.
I'm not throwing him under the bus, and I never have. That's what you guys are doing. That's what I'm saying. You guys are taking this, every little thing that comes up in our lives and live streams, and you're twisting it into making me to be the most horrible human being, that when I tell my friends and family and people who've known me for 40 fucking years that you are doing this, they cannot believe at all.
Speaking of friends, where is Lisa been?
Lisa asks not to be brought up on any more YouTube videos, so please don't bring her up, her family, or anything else. Thank you. Her wishes, her wishes.
What about Sharon?
Sharon's in Florida.
What about your sisters?
What about my sisters? My sisters are home.
They never around.
Because they all have lives of their own with old family members that have illnesses of their own. My sister-in-law had a liver transplant. Excuse me. You asking me or are you going to tell me? Okay.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
If one of your sisters had stage 4 cancer, where would you be?
It depends. If my husband was sick, I'd probably be here taking care of my husband.
I'm not talking about Jim being sick. I'm saying
that's the story, but you're not listening. My sister, who was visiting me, who came to take care of me, hurt herself to the point where she can't take care of anybody. That's one. My second sister, whose son died, she is taking care of herself because she has not been the same since he died. And he died the day I got diagnosed, 4 days after I got diagnosed. My third sister, her wife just had a liver transplant. And my oldest brother is on disability himself and can't barely put his own shoes on. Go ahead. Where would I be? I would be, if my family was fine at home, I would be there. And they know that because I was. When Lisa had her surgery in Texas, I went down. I took care of her. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know. You only know my life from 2016 in December. And you just make all of these presumptions and accusations and twist every little thing to fit your narrative.
That's what you don't get. I have watched video upon video and listened to live upon live.
Oh, okay. All right. So what other lies do we got for me? Besides the fact that I told Jim to stay home when I didn't, and the fact that I told Diane to get deleted, which I didn't. But okay, go ahead. What other lies do we got for me?
I'm going to ask the question. You said something about you weren't going to protect your family anymore when we did this live.
Yeah.
What you talking about? Go for it.
What I'm talking about was how I just talked about my mother-in-law, which I've been tiptoeing around her feelings and behavior because she is not able to take care of herself. I got sick. She was fine until I got sick. She stopped eating. She stopped taking care of herself. She stopped driving her car. She got points where she stopped taking her medicine because I couldn't be there to take care of her. What?
What do you do for her?
What did I do or what do I do?
No, what do you do now? You said she can't live alone.
Yeah, because I don't do anything except feed her a meal that she loves every once in a while, and I feel good enough to cook. Jim does everything else.
My mom's 84 years old. And
congratulations.
Worse shape than Sally.
Okay, congratulations. Oh, that's fine. Sally's mother was in the shape she's in right now, and she died because she starved herself to death. And that's why we moved here to prevent that from happening. And that's exactly what's happening. What?
All right, guys. Let's wait. You got sick. Now she would have starved herself to death if you weren't there. You said she had dementia way back when.
No.
That woman is an attack.
Are you kidding me? How do you know she's... Didi, how the fuck do you know she's sharper than attack? Because you talked to her for 20 minutes?
We talked to her.
Yeah, and talk to her about what? What do you talk to her about?
We talked to her about shows. Everything.
Shows that she watched yesterday or shows that she watched when she was 20? She's extremely smart. She's extremely smart and she's very talented. But that has nothing to do with the fact that she... Yes, that's dementia, ass. Everybody from the past, everything from the past is rememberable. She could tell you the story about how she spun herself into the tree when she was 7 years old, like it happened yesterday. But you know what? She got in the car and forgets how to fucking put the car in drive. Listen, You don't know. You don't know. You don't live
She
here.
don't have to drive to take care of herself. They have other ways that
That was a point I was making when she first realized there was something wrong. She got in the car and forgot what she was supposed to do next. That's when she talked to the doctor about having possibly memory problems.
You don't need to yell. We can hear you.
You're all talking at the same time. You're all talking at the same time, and I can't know that you're hearing me, okay?
No, we're not. I get it, Jerry. I get that. You guys, let's. Okay.
First of all, I only wanted to do this with Mona, so I appreciate you all being here.
I know,
I do.
we're just talking, but everybody's trying, Jerry. I know, but everybody's not had a chance to talk to you, so everybody's. So
Everybody wasn't supposed to talk to me. It was just Mona. I picked Mona. Okay.
But you're right.
Yeah.
And we'll let Mona talk because it really was supposed to just be Mona. Mona, there's been a question a couple people have asked about her family, so you might want to do that one. And Jerry, the only other thing I'll say is we stayed up until 1:30 last night trying to think of very respectful questions so that you didn't feel attacked. I wasn't going to be on here. It was only going to be Mona. We stayed up till 1:30 doing that to try to do this in a way where you wouldn't feel attacked. The only reason everybody's on now was because Mona felt stood up. That's the only reason.
I know,
So
because I don't
wasn't
like this
how it's supposed to
platform.
go.
This platform doesn't work for me. Nobody that follows me is on this video right now. Because you have to be on Mona's channel to watch it. And they don't want to go on Mona's channel. A lot of them have her channel blocked because of what she pulled at the doctor's office. That's why I asked if it could be on YouTube.
That right there we are going to talk about.
The doctor's office? Absolutely, go right ahead.
There's some misconceptions about that.
Number one.
We had no idea there was going to be a live that day.
But you were on it, and instead of hanging up, you lied to me and told me you had to get the cats off your lap.
And I did.
You did tell the ladies to be quiet because we were going to the doctor's office. I watched it and I recorded it for my lawyer. Go right ahead.
You can do that all you want to.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
Knew I was going. Look, I already know from a very reliable source. You told them I was going to record it.
No, I didn't.
So what's the difference between
Nobody. I didn't know you. You can't record a live. You can't record. You cannot record a FaceTime video with sound. So I was not going to say that at all. When you record a FaceTime video, it does not record the sound. So why would I think you were going to do that? Look, Mona. Mona, do you realize how much you're gaslighting me right now?
I did not gaslight you.
No, you don't think so?
You wanted people to know you had stage 4.
I didn't. I told them I had stage 4. They didn't believe me. You didn't believe me, and I thought you were my friend. So I brought you to the doctor's office so that you could hear it for yourself. You said you had questions for the doctor. You lied to me and told me that the cats were on your lap. And I turned around the next day. I found the video. It's on the recording. You can go back and watch the live. You can go back and watch it. It's on the recording. You talking to me.
Exactly what was said, Jerry. I was there.
You don't have to. I'm saying I know what you said. It's on the recording. You can't deny it. You're not Donald Trump. You can't pretend it's not there.
I had a cat that I.
That's fine. But what you did instead was you told the ladies on.
Wants to do a live with you. You will not let them talk.
Okay, go ahead, Mona.
I have a cat that absolutely loves Queen.
Absolutely.
Loves Queen. Every time he hears Queen's voice.
Yeah, and that's fine.
You're not listening.
I am listening. You already explained this to me.
Talking, you're not listening.
That's not true. I can do both things at the same time. Go ahead.
You can't.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I had a cat that loves Queen. We were live that day. Nobody knew we were going to be live that day because we're very seldom live during the day. When you called me, he was trying to run up me and down me to get to Queen. So now that wasn't a lie. Number 2, you knew you wanted people to know you had stage 4. I know without a shadow of a doubt, the person that told me that you said I was going to record it was not lying. I cannot tell who it is because they asked me not to. But I did not gaslight you.
Yes, you did. And you still are. Do you know what gaslighting is?
No, do you?
Absolutely, 100%. So when you lie to someone's face, when you pretend like it's nothing that they're making this up, that's gaslighting. When you're sitting here telling me that whether or not the cat was on your lap, you told me, hold on, I had to get the cats off my lap, but you were still instead waiting. The phone was ringing, and you were telling the ladies on the live to be quiet instead of hanging up with the live, where you could have a private with me. And that's another thing. Is it just such a coincidence that you happen to go live the day that I told you I was going to the doctor and I would call you?
We go live quite often.
Yeah, but not during the day like you just said. You just said we hardly ever go during the day. It just happened to be the day you knew I was going to call you from the oncologist. Oh, it's not my turn to talk? You're talking on top of me? You're not listening? Mona, please, do me a favor. Give me a minuscule of the amount of intelligence that I have and respect, because I do not deserve this. And whether or not I told 1 to 7 lies on my videos and you've got proof, I'm a human being. I don't talk from a script. I don't make shit up. Sometimes I have to cover his ass. Sometimes I have to cover her ass because they're my family, and I try not to do what you're thinking I'm doing. It hurts so bad because it is so not in my character, anything that you guys say I'm doing. I don't manipulate anybody. I'm not taking advantage of my mother-in-law. The only thing that has changed since we agreed to move in together is I was expected to get a job that paid a lot of money, like I made in New York. And I told her that we were going to take over the mortgage payments because that's what we wanted to do. Jim and I wanted to take over the mortgage payments. Jim got a job that he ended up getting demoted after 2 weeks, and I could not find a job that paid me without ruining my car. I tried to be a post office worker, and they stuck me in my own van, and I drove into a ditch. And my insurance company went, no. They put my insurance up so high that I wasn't making any money as a post office worker. Then I went to go work at a group home, and she wanted me to lay out $400 the first week I was there for gas and training and X, Y, and Z. And I was like, no, I don't have that kind of money. That's what happened.
We've never heard that story. That's a good story. I didn't know that story.
You're right. I've told that story before. I've told that story on YouTube before.
You're right. Well, I don't listen.
That's fine.
I do miss some of the things. So
that's fine.
I will fully admit when I don't hear something. And so, Jeri, this is Joni. I meant it when I apologized to you.
I believe it, Joni. I do.
Because I do not want you to have cancer.
I wouldn't wish it on my
stage 1. I don't want you to have stage 4. And I was very ashamed of the way that I acted towards you. And
I appreciate it.
Angry. I was.
I didn't know you were on the gut. I'm sorry, Joni. I didn't. Sorry.
And I apologize for that. And I have been different for months now. That doesn't mean I don't still get angry. But can I ask you? So there are. So my one question would be, people are asking questions. You know that we don't have the power. All these people angry. We don't. Believe it or not.
You don't have the power to what?
So many people have gotten mad.
Sorry. No, I know. I didn't hear the question. You don't have the power to do what?
I know it takes me a while. So some people, we just don't have that kind of power. So when people get mad and they ask questions like, so one of the questions was, so Jeri, you had said that your family doesn't trust you. So can you understand? So my question is about the family not trusting you. That's not it. Can you understand why, as people listening, they're like, whoa, why does her family not trust her?
I didn't say my family didn't trust me. When did I say my family doesn't trust me?
Okay, see, I picked the wrong question because I'm the one that watches least, and now I don't know how to pick. Diane, do you know when she said it? Because I don't know. Diane's better the expert. But that was a question that 2 people asked here in the chat, so I was trying to, to give them a
you guys have a chat anyway?
Jeri, you said your family doesn't trust you, and so I don't remember you guys. I need one of you guys who knows to put it in here, because if we're going to ask her, we need to be able to tell her when she said it.
Joni, can I ask you something? I think
this needs to be between Jeri and Mona.
Joni.
I love it. Yeah, Mona, do you still have the question?
I'm sorry. Joni. I'm sorry. Joni.
Mona just doesn't have the patience she thought she was going to have. Okay, all right. Well, go ahead, Jeri. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I still don't know what you said you guys don't have the power for. That's where your phone cut out, and I'm trying to get you to repeat that question. We just don't have the power.
Okay, so I was trying to get people to ask the questions or to be able to tell us when, because I agree with you. If we're going to say that you said you don't trust your family, we need to be able to tell you when.
I don't trust my family, or they don't. I'm sorry.
Ask that because I don't know when it is.
That's okay. They said I don't trust them, or they don't trust me.
No. They're saying that you said that your family doesn't trust you, and so I don't know. I don't know when that was said. Can anybody tell me when that was said so that because
I put it out there, you guys. I saw two of you asked it, and I don't know when she said it. So
Well, that's
I wanna
okay.
be fair.
If you want to skip to the next one and wait till somebody answers you, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the next one. Move on to the next. All right, Mona, I'll ask. Okay. All right. So
you can ask. In other words, Joni, you're gonna have to like read the questions to
I'll
me.
do it. I'll do it. We'll do it. All right.
Right.
Okay. All right. All right, you guys. And I promise you, Jerry, we stayed up late last night trying to think of questions that there were some we refused to ask you because
Sure.
they did seem mean spirited.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
I don't mind the
Here's-
mean spirit. I like to
Go ahead.
explain things, you know.
Okay, go ahead. All right. So, all right. Okay. Are you pursuing any treatment?
Not right now.
And if
Oh,
okay,
go ahead.
all right. And
So just, I don't know if you guys watched the live. I had an appointment, the second appointment with the possible clinical trial out in St. Louis. We had car trouble. We only got as far as the last exit in Missouri. I mean, in Rolla, excuse me.
okay.
And we had to postpone it. When I called to reschedule it, she said, you 2 strikes on that doctor's office. So she sent my records to the other urology oncologist to see if she had anything for me. And then I asked my regular oncologist if he could send my file over to other schools like SLU and other hospital like learning hospitals and stuff. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
When are you gonna get another aid?
I hope so. I applied. DHSS contacted me 4 weeks ago. They contacted the company that I said that I wanted to go with. I contacted the company. They had said they had people in training. Then I contacted the lady who I helped me last time when I had the program that I was in before was direct support. So DCS, the DCS program that I had before, which is where you hire somebody that you know, but I didn't know anybody. I've switched to the in-home side so that they're responsible for training and keeping track of hours and all that stuff. So I switched to the in-home side, and they said they had people training. They're going to try to get me somebody. And then I called the lady who I worked with at the the DCS side, and she said that she had a niece that was in the program and she was going to graduate soon. And I left a message on Friday. Like, I just follow up every Monday and Friday. I just make a phone call to try to figure out, except today, because today I'm surprised I made it. I was up choking to death all night. I had to use my inhaler and my throat was so sore this morning. I could barely talk. So I was like just resting the day, drinking the fluids, sucking on the lozenges.
Okay, so I got an answer on the thing, and so so what they're saying is, I don't know the date, but she was talking about how we don't trust her. You, meaning you, were talking about how we don't trust you regarding her cancer, your cancer, and said that even her family doesn't trust her. And then she said, I don't know why, meaning you said, I don't know why they don't trust me. So I can't give
Even
you a
my
date, Jerry. I don't
family?
know, but there's two people giving basically the same comment saying that, you know, that's how it went down, that you were basically questioning why we don't trust you.
I remember that.
No, I don't
I
remember. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember saying about my family not trusting, because I don't have any family members that don't trust that I have cancer. So I don't know if it was about something else.
Did you mean in other ways that they don't trust you, or did you only mean in cancer? Or if you don't remember it,
I don't remember. Yeah, I was like, I don't remember saying it. So I know that when you guys started talking to Mom more, when she was off of her medication that time, and you like really started to influence the way she was acting at home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that I know then she had more of like, I felt more like she always, I seemed, the vibe I was getting from her was that she started to not trust me, that I was doing everything that I could, that I was trying everything that I could to be me again. I felt that way. And I don't know if that's what you meant or if that's what the context was of the conversation. But ever since she started talking to you, I do feel the trust lessen here a lot.
Between you and Mom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that was absolutely never our goal.
Oh,
I don't know about you, Mona, but that was really never our goal.
Fine.
That's why I get irritated, because we're being blamed, just like you say you get blamed for stuff. We're being blamed.
Oh, I didn't say you.
Your mom.
No, I didn't say that at all. I said when she started talking to you all is all I said. Yeah. Look, if you guys post questions about my honesty, how is that not going to affect her? Even if you're just talking to her about everyday stuff.
Because, Jerry, sometimes, and I don't know if you mean to, but like even yesterday, you made the comment that you had been on the Section 8 waiting list for a year.
No, the one apartment here. It's not a Section 8 list. It's just one apartment, the low income apartment.
This is the thing.
And it hasn't been a year. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You think we don't pay attention, but we do. And about a year ago, y'all were doing the yard sale to go to Colorado.
Well, that was 2 years ago, and the list that I went on, I didn't go on since I wasn't on a year. I went on last February or whatever. It was about the time Mom stopped that Aricept that week, that couple of weeks that she was doing. I started to feel really unsafe with my future and my family. So I put basically where Cece lives. I put my name on the apartments where Cece lives.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not Section 8 housing. It's based on your income.
I don't even know the difference, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'll be the first to say I'm not an expert on that.
Okay.
Because I don't ever want to put myself out. I don't know the difference. I don't.
Well, Section 8 basically.
I need to educate myself on what the difference is between senior living and assisted living. I would assume with assisted they assist you more, but that's just me trying to. I mean, so.
Well, it depends. It really depends on the company that's running it. To be honest with you, and how much assistance you get, how much assistance you need. Like my friend Bobby, he suffered from cancer and the long-term effects, and he after the hurricane, he moved to South Carolina. I know you guys know Bobby because if you were that long, you were with me. We went to his house and shopped with him and everything. But he lived in an apartment for people with medical conditions, so that there was always a nurse on staff and a doctor on staff. Well, several nurses on staff and doctors. A huge apartment building, but they all lived independently. They were just there if they needed them. Like, I've fallen. Can somebody come and help me? And I can't find my medicine. Can someone come and help me? So it really depends on the company and what kind of level of assistance that you need. It depends on. When we, oh, go ahead.
That's kind of what I had in mind, in to some respect, Sally.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just to get her away from y'all. It was to give her some sort of independence.
Well, here's the thing, though. I appreciate what you're saying 100%. But Sally was independent until I got sick, and a little while after too. She was driving herself everywhere, and she was making her own food when she was hungry, and she didn't want what we wanted. She'd stop at McDonald's and take herself to the doctor. She was doing all that.
Oh, you just said.
I'm sorry.
Because she might starve herself to death.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Just now said she's down. Which one is it?
Wait, I can't. Honey, you're breaking up. So just go slower and say it again because I didn't get half the question.
Okay. So you said when you moved in with Sally that she was doing good. She was independent. She went in her own home. You just said that. But a few minutes ago, you said that you wanted to live with her because of dementia and because you were worried about her starving herself to death. So now, it's the story there, right there, Jeri, just then switched up.
No, see, that's the problem, Didi. You didn't listen? No. You just listen again. What I had said was, in this house, when we lived together, right before I got sick, up until the point where I got sick and a little bit after my diagnosis, Mom was 100% independent in this house. We moved in together because we knew as she got older, which we didn't expect to be from last year to this year, to be such a dramatic change. But we knew as she got older, there was a chance that her health would decline, like her mom's, because not just her mannerisms and everything, she's a lot like her mom, the way that they drink and they smoke and the thing, like their behavior and attitude towards people, everything, she'll tell you, be the first one to tell you. And her mom was in an assisted living and just decided to stop, or assisted living or senior housing, and just decided to stop eating. Nobody was checking up on her and making sure she wasn't, and she basically starved herself to death. And after her autopsy, they found out she had dementia. Now, I did not move into this house with my mom my mother-in-law having dementia because she didn't get it until, she wasn't diagnosed until like 2017 or 18. So we lived together.
Was it where you're at now or a different place?
I'm sorry? Say it again.
Didn't you get swatted one time on a live? Which I
didn't. Yeah, here.
Okay.
It was here. We've been in this. Oh, I'm sorry. We've been in this house since 2013.
Okay.
we moved in. When we came here in May, and we lived with her in her other house for a while, and then we decided to buy a house together, because basically, I grew up in the kind of family where it's better to pay your own mortgage so you have equity than to pay someone else's mortgage by renting. And we bought this house that was in really good shape, like they had just done updates, 2009, 2010. Basically, they'd updated just about everything. So, of course, in the 10 years we lived here, things went, we know the plumbing went last year, the ceiling went, the roof went from a hailstorm. So it's like normal everyday stuff. But for the most part, the house was in really good shape. Because really, Mom, we didn't have to put anything into it for the first.
And I do want to say that I have apologized to you about having cancer as well.
Yeah.
I want you to help yourself.
Help myself do what?
I want you to work on yourself, to push it a couple more steps.
Daddy, this is what I'm saying.
Like, what I feel compelled because I see the used to be.
I know.
Okay. That I also, it just is. I don't.
It's really, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off. It's that you're like lagging and I think you're done. So I start to talk and then I realize you're still talking. So I'm sorry about that. I really don't know what it is about what you think is going on here that you think I don't push myself every day to do what I did more than I did yesterday. What do you expect to have happened by now? Like, what is your expectations to have happened as of now? Like,
well, it's not my expectations, but I mean, every day, my grandmother had club feet and had canes and so on and so forth. But every day she would take 1 or 2 extra steps. She would make sure she didn't get in that wheelchair. So I expect you as a 4. I expect you to be so young. You are young.
Of course. Yeah.
To take a couple more steps just once a day.
Here's my question. If you don't see me every day, how many steps do you think I'm taking compared to yesterday? This is my problem with your assumptions. I'm not in my wheelchair unless hold on, sorry. Excuse me?
From what you have said, your doctor has told you 15 steps.
Yeah, so my doctor actually said, and I did explain this in like the long version. My doctor said for me to take to basically go until my body hurts. And it said don't let your body hurt because that means you could be doing damage. Basically pulling muscles that could pull the bone broken open again and those types of things. So he doesn't want me to push myself till pain. So I'm stubborn. I'm a Gen Xer, and I do push myself to pain. As a matter of fact, the other day, I was out there in the kitchen with Jim, and I pushed myself because I wanted to get this stuff done for him. He really wanted to get the stuff done. It was making him very, very frustrated. It was making me very frustrated, and I know it's making Mom very frustrated. And when I went back into my room, I threw up the entire day's worth of food because I was in so much pain, and I did so much damage. That's the kind of thing that happens. And you don't see that, and I don't talk about that because who wants to hear about me throwing up all day?
Because you shared with us your bowel movements and such. You showed us how to use
Yeah, and then you told me not to. And then you told me it was gross and not to. And I don't mean you, but I meant users. So
that's something you would share. Hey,
I did share it on.
I got sick to my stomach. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I did. I think I told that story on Sunday, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh, Jim said no. Jim said yes, but you said no.
No.
When did we do it? Yesterday. I did tell the story yesterday.
I listened to the whole live.
Oh, maybe.
Twice.
Okay. No.
I gave you 2, Jeri.
So I didn't tell that story yesterday.
And when you said to subscribe to your husband's channel, immediately I went and subscribed to your husband's channel.
That's nice.
I was not a hater. I got
I know.
very upset with you.
With me?
Because you did that long. I really, really got upset with you.
Because I did what?
Stayed in the bed for that long when you were injured. And you kept coming up with excuses. Like, okay, have you not said this? When you take a shower, you exert 10,000 steps.
Right. That was then, though.
You don't exert 10,000 steps for a shower?
No. I don't need help taking a shower other than wound care.
You said.
Yes, but I improved. That you're actually saying you're proving your own point. My health has improved. My condition has improved. My stamina has improved. My strength has improved.
10,000 steps for a shower, Jeri.
That was That was back when I was in broken bones and pain and new muscles that were doing things. Come on. And under treatment is different too.
5 miles, Jerry. 10,000 steps is 5 miles.
First of all, when I say something like 10,000, 4,700, 2,299, those are like exaggerated numbers. I hope you know that. I hope you would have this common sense enough to know that those are exaggerated numbers, because I'm just talking to people that I know. Do you think I count 10,000 steps to take myself to the shower? What a, oh goodness. Really? Really?
You could share with your subscribers how long you spend in bed, how many steps you walk. You could prove everything you wanted to.
Why? What do you mean?
Everyone's a liar. You could prove this and say, hey, this bee over here is lying.
Wait, I can prove what? What are you talking about?
You have an Apple Watch that registers your laying in bed, your sleep, your walks.
It does it all. It doesn't register my laying in bed. It registers when I'm sleeping, though. But I have to tell it when I'm sleeping and tell it when I wake up. It does register my movements.
You set it, so to say.
Yeah, I have to tell it when I was sleeping. Yeah. As far as the walking is concerned, it does track my steps, and it tracks my movements, general movements that aren't just walking, like when I do my physical therapy and stuff. It tracks that as well. There's 3 circles.
Hey, I get all this stuff in.
Okay. Don't you think that's boring? But here's the thing. When I say it, why do I have to prove it? Why does it come to... I'm asking... Hold on. I'm not done with the question. Why do I have to prove it to anybody when I say it? Where did it come to me being a blogger, a vlogger, a lifestyle tutorial craft teacher, to the point where I have to prove that I'm not lying when I say things? Because a few things that I might have misspoke, or I forgot I said, or you misheard, or I said differently, or somebody said something else. Why should I have to prove anything to anybody? And Jeri-Ann,
your shower would have to be 3 miles down the road.
Jeri-Ann, it's 10,000 steps worth of energy, is what I was saying at the time.
Don't say that. No. Ma'am, you said you got your 10,000 steps in from taking your shower.
And you thought that was literal. And you literally thought that was literal. You thought that was literal, that I took 10,000 steps to get to my shower? Why? Why do you think my shower is 5 miles away from my house? The fuck? That's the most nonsensical thing I've ever... Jeri-Ann, I would like to say something directly to you. When this whole thing started, and you started your videos where you didn't believe I was sick, and this, I sent you my actual records. I had a conversation with you on Instagram, and I sent you my records, and you said everything was bullshit. I made it up. I typed it up. Because she misspelled a word. She would never misspell a word.
There's edits in there, and I can send it back and show it to
you. You don't have to. I have it.
I never shared that with anybody either. That was between you and me. I never shared documents.
No, you didn't show the documents, but you told everybody that they were bullshit. Why should I try to prove anything else to you when you've done that to me personally in the past? The same thing with trusting Mona about this. No offense, Mona, but same thing about trusting Mona about this StreamYard. The last time I trusted Mona with my privacy, she shared it with everybody. So why should I trust that this is going to be a legit thing? How many chances of mistrust? How many chances of trust should I give away?
Well, it was my live, and I allowed Mona to do it. It really did happen in the middle of the live.
No, I understand. But Joni,
I felt very nervous because I was like, if it starts showing her, I do not want to violate your HIPAA or anything like that.
Well, you actually did, because I didn't give consent for you to see it.
I promise that really is true.
Joni, I'm sorry, Joni. First of all, Mona could have left the live. Secondly, you did violate my HIPAA because I didn't give permission for you to broadcast my conversation with my doctor and my doctor's voice and his diagnosis of me for the world. I shared it with Mona, and I gave Mona permission to listen. I didn't give anybody permission to share it. So that did violate my HIPAA.
You're not violating HIPAA unless you are a healthcare worker.
No, you're not.
That is working with you. Yes,
no, you can.
Look it up. I'm a healthcare worker.
So was I. What does HIPAA stand for, Mona? Go for it. What does HIPAA stand for?
I'm just going to agree with on that one.
Whoever this is who says... Whoever says that they know that they're a healthcare worker.
You have to be a healthcare worker.
What does HIPAA stand for?
That is working with you, and if they told your health documents, issues, whatever's going on with you, then that's a violation. But a normal lay person is not, you cannot violate HIPAA. Look it
I
up.
actually did look that up when I
Okay.
thought that Jerry
Sharon said
was
that in
being violated back when the whole thing first started and we were at odds with Diane's on this year. And I did look that up and it is true. And I was like, wait, why is it only limited to health?
Who's a nurse? Which one of you is a nurse?
Me, Kim.
Okay, Kim, I appreciate all the work that you've done in your life. I appreciate your nursing. I do. My aunt she has a doctorate in nursing. She's way retired, but you're a healthcare worker. Did I give permission for you to see it and hear any of my information?
I have to be your
No, you don't.
healthcare worker.
You have to be my direct. You have to be my direct care worker to violate the HIPAA between us. To do
HIPAA is health insurance
portability and I know an acronym by heart. That's why I was asking who knew it. We had to learn HIPAA. I actually was a teacher of HIPAA at AHRC, so I know exactly what violates HIPAA.
So
we weren't healthcare workers.
And accountability act.
Yes, we weren't healthcare workers at the group home.
If I told your stuff, then I would be violating HIPAA and I would get fired.
I understand, but you don't just have to be my nurse. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
You're right. If I was working in the hospital,
if you were a medical,
you're right.
That's it.
You're right.
So, and how many nurses heard my information? How many doctors heard my information? How many people was my information shared with? That you don't know that they're not healthcare workers?
Nobody did
Okay.
on our channel. That's not a violation of HIPAA.
Yes, it is.
If all of the doctors and nurses that were listening,
We can share Google, and that way Google is doesn't have a
Doesn't-
dog in this
okay.
fight.
I've got a friend.
If I worked at the facility that your records are in and I shared them, that is violation.
if I
Other
shared,
than that,
if you were a nurse and I shared information with you and you shared it with someone else, that's a violation of HIPAA. It doesn't make a difference if you're my nurse or not.
you have to be
The
a
lady,
healthcare worker in the
one of
facility.
the ladies who were in all the comments telling
All right,
everybody
I'm
she's a
done.
nurse and she was my nurse and she's full of shit that I didn't have cancer. What about her? No, she didn't have to be my nurse. You don't have to be my nurse. I appreciate that. Here's the thing.
No, you're right. You don't. Exactly. I said you was right. I'm
Yeah.
talking about if you are a nurse in the facility
Yes.
that your records are in.
Sure, of course.
Anybody in that hospital, if they got on there and looked up your name,
Absolutely.
and then they told it,
Sure.
they have to work there.
Yeah, but you okay. Well,
If
just
I worked at another bank and got access, and I told somebody,
if a
any
stranger,
access to your records, but you have to be a healthcare employee in that facility.
you really don't, because I was not a healthcare worker when I was at AHRC, and we had I said again, I taught HIPAA classes, so I appreciate that. We were just direct support counselors. That's all. We were.
I actually have a question.
Sure.
From hey Jerry, how's it going?
Hi, who's this?
This is FedEx.
Oh, I never heard of you before recently, so hi.
Hi. First off, this is actually coming from the chat. One of your old-time viewers, Janice W. Question. She wanted to know, let's say Sally finds an apartment.
Yeah.
Will you guys leave peacefully? Or will you
Why will I what, you know?
Will you throw a fight? Like,
well,
will you leave peacefully?
I've discussed this with my family. I would like to stay in this house. I don't know. I mean, there's other options besides us leaving and Sally leaving and Sally staying. Sally doesn't have to stay for us to stay. She agreed. If she agreed to stay until Jim got Social Security, or 3 months, which is in another 3 months. If he doesn't get a Social Security by then, we'll figure something else out. But if he can get his Social Security before that, we'll be able to afford the mortgage easy, and the rest of the bills too.
Have you spoken to a bank yet?
No, not to get another mortgage, but to pay the mortgage.
Well, that's what's going to happen. That mortgage is actually going to go over to Jim under one of your names.
Sure, Jim.
Get credit, whatnot.
Jim.
Or else the state takes it, I think.
No, only if she dies and she doesn't have a DOT to somebody. I just know because I just went through this with my dad, and I know the laws are a little different in New York than they are in Missouri, but I know like that this is how much I know. We continue to pay the mortgage, doesn't make a difference. as long as the people who own it agree.
Actually, you should probably reach out to the VA as well and like verify that information.
The DA or the VA?
Goes, and how you can transfer that over to you and Jim.
Hey, sweetie, did you say the district attorney or the Veterans Association?
VA.
The Veterans Affairs.
Yes,
oh, okay.
The veterans.
Well, at first I was thinking that we would have to, because they told Mom that she would have to, this make her primary house, is what the VA loan would have to be her primary house. But there's two things that I've thought of since we talked yesterday. One is she's just going to be renting, so she's not going to try to get another mortgage in another place, most likely. And the second thing is, when she sold her house in Arizona, that guy got to keep the VA mortgage. That's why you weren't.
Yeah, you can transfer VA
Yeah.
mortgage, but I believe you have to be in there. I think you would have to be a vet.
That guy was a vet. That stranger.
I do not.
Yeah.
That stranger that you signed your house over to in Arizona was a vet.
Hold on, it's been a while.
I don't remember you saying that. But anyway, Mom had a mortgage. Actually, it was Dad's.
To go through financing.
It was actually Dad's mortgage, like under Dad's name. And this house, Mom found out when we were looking that she qualified for her own mortgage as being a veteran's wife for the amount of time she was. So this mortgage is actually under her name for her service as being an Air Force wife for that many years. The house in Arizona that they had previously, when they sold it, the guy took over the mortgage. So she didn't think she was going to qualify to get another mortgage under Jim's name, because that one was the whole thing and the transfer, blah, blah, blah. So it turned out that she was able to get one on her own here. So I just assume is that I told her if she keeps the deed on the house, one of the questions that I had for her when we talked yesterday was, what is her tax break for paying, like, I usually get a tax break when you pay the interest on your house, like, you get a little like tax refund or whatever. So I was asking her what that was, and if she's just going to rent a place, sign Jim's name on the deed, and like we just keep paying the mortgage as it is. Because honestly, I'll be honest with you 100%, I don't know that something's going to work out like that. What I started to say before, and we all got heated and we were talking about everything, is that originally we were talking about living in two separate houses. And then it switched to Mom didn't think she could be that far away. And then it switched to she was going to buy a property with a house and then add a house to it. Right. And then it switched to she didn't think she could live alone. So we were going to live in an upstairs, downstairs situation. Then it went back to upstairs, downstairs, but then I'm going to get a tiny house and it's not going to be too far away. And then it came to like, it changes. And I appreciate all of you guys, because I know Jim, what was that tone on? Jim sometimes shares it on his lives, but I don't really ever share that kind of stuff that Mom's like constantly changing her mind of what she wants to do with it. So when I say to you, are you going to be short? I mean, yeah, if it actually comes down to it and we can't afford to live here, then yes, we'll move peacefully. I don't even know why this is a question. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all.
So another backup question to that one would be, if say Sally, how long would you want Sally to wait until you can afford, not get the mortgage under your name?
No, I just asked her if she could continue to wait the 3 months that she gave Jim originally. The next 3 months. She was 6 months, but it's 3 months left. So.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's loud. It's bing.
Actually, it might September already. Might only be 2 more months.
That's me getting a text, sorry. But you know what, Jerry? I'm not like trying to be a smart ass or anything like that, but I would definitely reach out to the banks and ask those questions before you assume it, because it is hard getting a mortgage. I know that. I don't think Jim and I are qualified for a mortgage at all. I'm not saying that at all, 100%. Without cosigner. Without a cosigner, what I said was, we will. So I'm just trying to understand. So everybody will know. So what you mean is that Sally would move, and that you guys would just keep paying her to stay in the house. So Sally would keep the mortgage. Is that what you mean?
No, the mortgage would be in her name, and we pay the bank. Do you realize that she's not my landlord? She's my mother-in-law, right? You do get that. This isn't a contract I have with a stranger. This is family.
Right, but she said that to move, she would need to sell. So what would that mean?
Not anymore.
I'm sorry, what?
To move, would you need to sell?
Would I kick you out?
No. To move, would you need to sell this house? if you moved into assisted living?
I wouldn't have to sell the house,
Yeah.
but I would definitely have to have it off my plate, the mortgage off my plate.
Yeah, off your financial plate. Yeah. We also talked yesterday about possibly taking
But
out.
it would still be in Sally's name.
Yeah. We talked about
responsible, so if
Yeah.
you pay it, she would have to.
Right, but that's never going to happen. So we also talked yesterday about possibly her taking out like a HELOC, and we'll have the 2 payments separate so that she could pay down the credit card debt from the plumbing. I definitely think that if Jim and I are going to keep
HELOC is a very bad idea, Jerry. You don't
Well,
want to do that.
it depends on your percentage rate and stuff. But no, my dad had that. It was actually, he got a really good.
I had a HELOC as well.
He got a really.
I foreclosed.
Oh wow, my dad had a really good one, and it was only like $199 a month we had until he died. So, and he got $20,000 off of that. So we were talking about the $10,000 that she put for the plumbing and like the other $7,000 credit card. That I think that should go back into the house because that was house expenditure, and we should continue to pay that off. And then she would be mostly credit card debt free, so she'd have her money to do whatever she wanted to. And then we also told her that if Jim gets his Social Security, then we would go ahead and just pay the whole phone bill. Because one of the things she said I only have to worry about is my phone bill, but we would just pay her portion of the phone bill since she covered it for so long for this last year. So.
I mean, like, meanwhile, you can. I mean, this is just what I think would make sense in this situation. I know I'm not in your life, I'm not in your finances, I'm not a family member or nothing, but it would make sense to maybe like even drop your name on under some of these apartments that are like low income homes.
I did. I thought that's what I said. I've had my name in
like
since.
Bunch. You have to do a
well,
bunch.
there's not a bunch here.
And you'll be at the top of the list because.
Well, I know there's not a bunch here. That's what I'm saying. There's not that many choices here in Rolla. There's the one that's not Section 8, and then there's 2 that are Section 8. And then one that's the nutrition center that's riddled with bed bugs and drugs and all these types of horrible things that I wouldn't even consider moving there if it was the last place to live. I'd live in my van first.
Yeah, because Jim, I mean, like I don't work in Social Security departments, but I know one thing, like from experience, that sometimes it can take years for someone to get approved for Social Security.
They actually fast track Jim's because if his problem was above his. They tell you like if basically there's an unwritten rule that says if from your neck up, they usually fast track it. And that was the case. We just have we talked to one lady who never told the other people that we were talking, and then the other people sent us a letter like, "Oh, you missed the thing," and I was like, "No, we talked to the lady." So it's just kind of like we're waiting for the next step, and it's frustrating to wait, of course. But the other thing I asked him about since he applying for Social Security is he can apply for his own food stamps, because honestly, he's not able-bodied. I told. And it's not depression. It's not that I'm telling him that he's not whatever. Just listen if you could. I told Mom the other day that it reminds me of her friend's husband, who now has dementia, had a really long time trying to get on disability. When a person doesn't have the social or mental cognitive ability to have a sit-down job, like Jim's anxiety and his social anxieties and his dyslexia, and they no longer have the physical capability to have a manual labor job, that's where the system steps up to those people. He steps in for those people. Now we were moving to Colorado, and Jim was going to take care of me. Like that was the deal back then. And that happened, and that obviously his body just broke down on him, and wasn't something he could even do. He didn't feel like he could even do that anymore. And right now, I know you guys think he takes care of me a lot, and I had this conversation with Mom yesterday. He does get me my water. He does make me my coffee. He does bring me breakfast and make breakfast. He does make dinner if I'm not feeling up to making dinner. He does serve me my dinner if I feel like I can't come out to the table, because at nighttime, I typically get very tired. My worst parts of the day are at night. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I talk to the ladies? Can I talk to the ladies? Sorry.
Another thing, Jerry.
Yes.
You said how Jim is, he's not able. So how is he able to take care of you if he's not able to?
Well, that's what I just said. He's not able to take care of me. So what he's basically doing now is he's cooking for himself and then making extra for us. He's keeping the house as clean as he possibly can, but still, it's not clean like when I was cleaning it. And I'm not complaining on him. He's doing the very best he can. And I thank him and I appreciate him for everything. It makes me feel like a giant piece of shit because I can't do it anymore. And it makes me nuts. Actually, sometimes I get so depressed, I have to like read something inspirational just to shake it off. Because all I ever wanted to do when I was growing up was just to be a wife and mother. Never got to be a mother, but it's all I ever wanted to do. My growing up, when I was born, I was number 5, but my mother had taken in my 2 cousins, so I was really number 7. And my nan came to live with us, and we lived 10 people in 1,000 square foot, 6 over 6, basically, 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, living room, dining room, kitchen. And it was never clean. My mom used to say, I think I've mentioned this in my lives a lot. She used to say, if you keep your toilet clean, they'll just think you're unorganized. They won't think you're a slob. Because there was no place for anybody to put anything. So we didn't really have a choice, you know. Anyway, I always said I didn't want that to happen. And up until I got sick, it didn't happen. Mom's biggest complaint, we talked about yesterday, Mom's biggest complaint was I would always forget to dust the clock but right outside her door. And it was like, it looked like I wasn't taking care of anything because that was like, you know. And then as I started to get sick and not know it, I don't know if you guys remember from like 2018, I started to really slow down doing lives and not doing lives, doing shoppings and those types of things because I apparently was sick and I didn't know it.
Thought about going to get some help for it, like therapy or?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say that too, Jerry. It would help. I do it.
Well, yeah, I saw the social worker from hospice. Yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, Beth and I talked about this today.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody needs it. Right. Therapy is great stuff.
Oh, I know. I love it. I'm usually everybody else's therapist. Anyway.
You should really look into that. Even you could do tele. You don't have to go anywhere. You could do it.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I was actually talking to Jim about it too. So we should go back to Compass.
You should.
Yeah. But anyhow.
It's good for you.
Sorry.
You know what? And like, you know that you're ill and stuff. You should not. See, I sound like I'm being bossy. I'm not being bossy, but I'm just suggesting like you should try to make happier memories.
Well, I'm trying.
Instead of like thinking of the past so much. And even like with you and Jim finding a cute little apartment or something you guys can decorate.
Well, I have a question. This was on my question list. Why do you think, and I asked Mom yesterday, but actually it was a follow-up question I was going to ask her today. Why do you think it is so important that Jim and I stand on our own 2 feet at applying for Social Security and dying of cancer? Why do you guys think it's such a good idea that we do that at this stage in our lives?
Because that's what Sally wants.
Oh,
she says that's what she wants.
She wants us to live by ourselves. That's what she told you?
Yeah.
Mom, do you know why?
I think it would be best for both of you.
Why?
You know,
I think it would be best.
No, but why?
Please don't get angry at Sally.
I'm not angry
at that, Jerry.
I'm not angry at Sally. I asked her the question yesterday if she actually said that. And then today I was trying to follow up with it, but then she had to go to the bathroom, and then it was time for the live, and we couldn't find Mona and blah, blah, blah. Because that
But she wants to say that, and she desperately
Hold on.
wants
Let
it.
her
She
answer.
doesn't
Let
wanna
her
hurt you
answer.
guys.
Let her answer. Let her answer. Let her answer.
I'm sorry. What?
Why do you think it's a good idea at this stage in our lives that we live on our own?
Try that again. I have to turn this down.
Oh, sorry. Why do you think it's a good idea at this stage in our lives, disability and dying of cancer, that we be on our own?
I guess maybe it was partially because it was my experience, and I'm thankful for it that I was on the other side of the country from my parents.
Okay.
You have rarely had a whole lot on your own. When you lived in the apartment and that thing, you were always constantly being interrupted, from what I understand, by the clients.
Oh, him and me alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's what I meant.
Oh yeah. Well, we were alone for 3 years, almost 3 years before we moved here. My dad died in 2010. We moved here in 2013.
But you were spending time at the apartment.
Yeah, but also alone. You know, also at home. You know, we had Lita, so somebody was always home. But really, it's the 3 days a week that I didn't work. We were home alone. You know, just like anybody who's got a job that's away. type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you ladies know this, but I have been responsible for mortgage payments and all of the spiel. When I was 20, just about to turn 28, my father was forced into retirement because the guy who he worked for, he basically ran the business. The guy decided that he wanted to save money and not pay my dad and take over the business, which he just then closed a few years after. So my dad was 59 and a half. He turned, it was basically April, and he turned would have turned 60 in September. So it was like 59 and a half, and he was forced in retirement. And my father was a cash, you know, he made a little bit in a check payment, but basically everything he earned was just minimal amounts. My brother lived upstairs, and he paid his rent went to the mortgage payment, but not the entire mortgage payment. And my father never had the heart to ask my brother for more money because he was a boy. I'm not gonna lie. My sister said it at my father's funeral, and I never thought about it before then, and I've never stopped thinking about it. She stood up and she said, "My father had 3 kids, Rob, Lucky, and the girls." And till she said it, it never really rang true because those two could do no wrong, but the rest of us were just like interchangeable almost. So my brother lived upstairs with his family. He had the same size apartment we did. It was a two family, like they call it 6/6, and he paid not even the mortgage. And as the mortgage went up, he just kept his rent really low. And we lived on Long Island. The apartment could have gone for $1,500, and my brother was paying 6. So everything fell on me. This was before I met Jim. I was working at daycare, well, the nursery school where I was working there, and then I started working at AHRC in the Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday shift, basically, while the birthday parties were going on and stuff. And then I went to starting to sell Tupperware on during the week at night, and then filling and picking up shifts wherever I could at the group home. But I didn't drive yet. I didn't have my own license yet at that time. Excuse me. I had my license. I didn't have a car. I apologize. So I couldn't get like back and forth to work easily. I got a car then. That all changed. But I was basically, I was doing everything, paying for the groceries, paying for the insurance, paying for the water, the electricity, and the cable, and taxes, and that all fell on my shoulders. And just because I was living in the home that my father's name was on, it didn't mean I wasn't responsible. My father wasn't a housekeeper. My brother was a senior in high school. Actually, he wasn't. He was when my father forced retirement. My brother was a sophomore in high school, just at the end of his sophomore year. But my brother was in high school. I've been raising him since he was 9 with my dad's help. But I was the emotional raiser. My father was the financial raiser. Is that kind of thing. And I had taken it all on.
But Jeri, if you see again, we're going back. I mean, I totally understand you've been through a lot throughout your life, whatnot. But I wish that you would just think of today.
Well, I am thinking about today. The problem is that today is changing constantly. I would love to be able to enjoy more moments. That's why we were talking about moving to a much better climate. But financially, we just couldn't do it. That's why we talked about rearranging the house to make it more so we would have our own space and mom can have her own space. So we would have more privacy.
Jeri, Sally wants her own apartment.
Sally wants her own apartment. Yes. I'm saying this is why we were doing what we were doing. Because she wanted her own apartment, but we kept looking at houses that we'd all live in for a meantime. And I said to her, I was like, well, if you're going to live with us in a different place for the amount of time it takes you to get your tiny house built, why don't we just make this place that situation and see if it works? And then she
right, and that's
stopped.
what we thought you guys were going to do, and we weren't fighting that. We were asking, when is that happening, and that kind of thing.
I don't think she really had her heart in it because we were waiting for her to get rid of her furniture and get new furniture. And she told me yesterday that she just didn't see how, even though I showed her the layout and the plan, she didn't see how it was not going to be crammed. But I don't know what she was expecting from a tiny house. They are smaller than her space here.
Sure.
But
one of the things she said to us that was really, that made me, because we were shocked by it. Because the one thing,
by what,
that,
honey?
what you may believe about us, we do not want to push her into anything. That's not our place. I don't want her getting a place and then regretting it and blaming us. That is not our place to do, no matter
for
what
sure.
people might think. No.
No,
So
I
when
didn't.
she said she wanted, we were like, what? You what? And so she got, the most touching thing we saw was how excited she got about it. She's like, I feel like I'm reborn. These are not her exact words, but it was really touching to see her get so excited to move and to do this. And
are you talking about
said,
into this into the apartments now, like into the senior living now? I'm sorry.
Why wouldn't it be a good thing for you guys as well to get, whatever place it is that you get, and if it's staying there, I think the fear is that bad things do happen. So, if you guys default, if she's still on the mortgage, she's still chained. She's not really free. Do you understand that? We're not saying that to attack, but she's not really free.
Well, it's just financially. That's what she said she needs. She just needs to not be able to have to pay for the mortgage. That's what she said. To live on her own, she would not have to be responsible for the mortgage.
Yeah.
So we would be responsible for the mortgage.
But if something happens to you and that leaves Jim.
Yes, but if something happens to Sally and that leaves us, like you can sit there and do that. You guys want me to live in the day, but you want me to live in the future too, and that's.
Okay, I just wish you and Jim would live.
Okay, so say I buy the house from Sally and I get a mortgage, and then I die. Then what happens? Jim's on his own. I mean, it's the same thing. You can sit here and do what ifs for the eternity, honestly. And what I was trying to say before was,
what I'm trying to say ultimately is I wish that you and Jim could stand on y'all's own two feet, and Sally could do what she wanted to do, and y'all.
Okay, Sally can do whatever she wants to do, and I've never tried to hold her back from anything. I've encouraged her to travel. She was going to do a travel tour on a bus once, and I encouraged her to, I told her when I came back from the cruise, I'm like, Ma, you got to go on a cruise. I've never tried to hold her back from anything, regardless of what you guys might think. Now, she has always been worried about what if with us, and I'm like, well, we'll manage. Whatever it is, we'll do it. And when we were going to move, we were like, okay, we can do this. And one of the questions that I talked about with just her, as a family thing, was about financials and those types of things. And we discussed it as a family. And when she said she wanted to look into, she wishes she could go to assisted living, what was the first thing I said? When you said you told me you wanted to go into an assisted living or a senior center, what did I say?
I'm getting this secondhand. I'm sorry, what was that again?
When you told me you wanted to go into a senior center or assisted living, what did I say?
You were forward.
I said go.
Yeah.
I said go. I'm not trying to hold her back. Jim's worried. Jim doesn't want her to go because, again, he saw what happened to his grandmother. So just to clarify that situation, we bought this house together thinking that this was the last place we were all going to live. Even before we thought we'd go to Colorado before I got sick. That's what, and even I said to Mom yesterday, one of the things yesterday was when she put in her walk-in shower, she was like, I might as well, it's the last place I'm going to live. When she put in her bay window, she was like, might as well, it's the last place I'm going to live.
Bay window was really,
well, that's now.
Yeah.
But so as she was making improvements, she was like, and might as well, it's the last place I'm going to live kind of thing. So there have been I actually made a suggestion 9 years ago to get, 8 years ago, maybe. Well, 2 years after we lived here, to get a ductless heater and air conditioner for her side of the house, so she can make her temperature whatever she wanted to, and she could smoke and it wouldn't affect us, and we could light candles and it wouldn't affect her, type of thing. But things just never happened. Priorities would come, things would change. I don't know if I want to do, is that too much? All these different things would happen. So it's just life. I mean, we have life going on. Life just happens every day, something different. I enjoy every day. I'm not always happy from sun up to sundown, but I'm grateful every morning that my eyes open and then I am above the ground. That's not changed in me whatsoever. I get sad that I can't do as much as I used to before because my body won't let me. The 15 steps, we never quite finished that. The doctor was like, stop when you have pain. And what I did with experiments is say yeah, I can go about 15 steps before I have to sit down. And that's basically I go from my bedroom. When I have to go to the doctor, I go from my bedroom, I sit at the kitchen table, I take a break, I go to the door, I lean on the recycling bin, I take a break, and then I get out to the car. So I break it up. But, I'm driving now. I got my eye shots. I'm driving again. I, you know, financially, we're not drowning because mom's got the phone bill, but, we're keeping our heads above water. Do we have extra money to do stuff? No. Just sometimes we forget, oh crap, I didn't realize we were going to be out of toilet paper. Yeah, because we're just people. We're not, this isn't an institution. This isn't a group home, as I told Jim a long time ago. When I first moved in with Sally and Jim, they had, she had a meal plan. She liked to do like a food menu, like for the week. And I said, I don't want to live in a group home. Like that's what it felt like to me, because that's what it was like at the group home. Who had their night to cook and what were they going to cook and make sure we had the recipes and ingredients for it, never run out of toilet paper. And I just look, when I was living in my home growing up, it wasn't like that. My father looked at the circular on Sunday, because they used to come back then on Sunday, and decide, oh, look, ground beef's on sale. Let's have stuffed peppers and chili and spaghetti and meat sauce. Like that's how I always grew up. But mom likes to have a variety. She doesn't like to have the same kind of meat 2 days in a row, unless it's like extremely different, like a pork, like a schnitzel, and then like pork dumplings would be like two different things, but they're both pork. So we had to switch it up, and we learned to live with each other, like that type of thing. But here's the number one head scratcher. We lived together since 2013 in this house. Why did it take me getting sick and not being able to take care of everybody like I did for it to be finally time for Jim and I to stand on our own 2 feet?
Because you've grown. Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Not you, but maybe Sally has. She wants it. She doesn't want to be worried if you guys default. She wants to be free.
No, I understand, but why now?
You know that if it was you, we would be saying the same thing. We'd be like, Jeri, be careful.
No, I would not, and I would not listen, to you because she's my mother-in-law. But I don't. The thing I don't understand is why now? Why now?
I don't know why now it's Sally. I mean, she surprised us, but she's so excited. And she's like, I really hope, I want them to let me do this.
Well, she can do that. I'm not holding her back. It's really Jim that has the big worries over his head. And that's why I'm encouraging to go with her to see these places and stuff. Because is she going to get the care? Because her mom lived in a place like this when she passed away, where they were supposedly independent but taking care of her.
But Jim already said that you can't take care of her.
Well, I can't, but Jim is watching over her. I feel like
just said that Jim could take care of you, Jeri.
That because he's taking care of mom. Listen, I want you to know from an outside perspective. I wish I could get one of my sisters to trust everybody enough to come on here. But when they asked me why all of a sudden she let herself go when I got sick and couldn't take care of her anymore, that was like red flags everywhere. Who asked you that?
Your family?
Yeah. Like, why? So it goes back to before. I mean, I'm not trying to go back in the past, but my father used to say they'll only call you when they need you, because I was always the person to help them out, cut their blinds, write names on their Christmas ornaments, whatever the freak it was. And that's what it felt like to my sisters was happening again. Because now that I can no longer take care of Sally the way I was, I'm getting pushed away. Like I'm getting left on the wayside.
You're getting pushed away.
Oh, of course I am.
You guys are growing like Sally.
No, she's not growing. She's shrinking.
There's nothing to be
Sally
angry.
is. I'm not angry at you. I'm not angry at you. I'm disappointed. No, I'm not angry at her either. I'm very disappointed and I'm extremely hurt. I'm extremely hurt. Why can't I be hurt? It's my feelings. Don't unvalidate my feelings.
No, you can be hurt. That's true. But I think you guys think that she's trashing you, and she is not trashing you in Discord.
Never said that at all. I never thought that she was trashing me. I actually thought that you were the things that you guys say that aren't true. The things that you think about me that aren't true. If she listens to them and she's vulnerable, and you're saying the things that she maybe popped in her head once, because of a mistake I made or thought she had. Do you know what I'm saying? Like she's vulnerable to that. And the 2 weeks when she wasn't on her medication, she was extremely vulnerable. I actually said to my family, and I don't think I actually told mom this, but I sat down with mom and my sister had said, why don't you should write a letter to a whole bunch of disability lawyers and just send them to everybody saying, look, I was the breadwinner for so many years and I couldn't get disability because I was working in a home, blah, blah, blah. Basically telling my story. And I said to mom, I said, Mom, this was before I knew she wasn't taking her medicine. I said, Mom, would you help me compose an email? She's an excellent typist. So I said, would you help me compose an email? And she said, the first thing she said was, I can't get my printer to work. I said, well, I don't need it printed. I just need you to type it and like email it to me and I'll just cut and paste. And she said, well, I can't use the WordPerfect that she uses. She's like, I can't get into WordPerfect. I was like, you don't have to. You can do it on your tablet. You can do it on in an email. You can send it in an email. And then I said, I wanted it to say this, this, and this, and I explained it. And then she comes back and says, but I can't get my printer to work. I said, Mom, I told you, you don't have to have it printed. You just can send it in an email. And she says, and I quote, but I can't get my WordPerfect to work. And I said, okay, don't worry about it. Oh, yes, you did. And I said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So basically, that's when she wasn't on her medication. And she didn't even realize, like she just said, I didn't say that. I was like, she didn't even remember that she said that.
Once.
No, you repeated it. That's what I'm saying. And I got so scared and I went and I called my sister who is taken over since my mom died. My oldest sister is taken over in helping me figure things out. But anyway, I went and I told her I was really scared. I was like, this isn't like her. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if she needs more medication. She needs to up her dose. And then I found out through a random conversation that she hadn't been on her medication that whole time. So I was like, well, that made me feel better because at least we knew the medication was working, because when she stopped taking it, she started to repeat things and unthink things or, not catch on or whatever as easy as she used to before.
You know, she when she played trivia with us, she was astounding. She beat my husband, who is literally like a Mensa level genius.
Well, she's
like he's hard to live with because he is so smart. And he was sitting there going, my God, this woman, he was so impressed by her. She went toe to toe with him so quickly. And you might think, oh, well, maybe she Googled the answers. There was no time for her to do that.
No,
she's so smart. Her recall is fantastic. And I understand there's a difference in short-term memory and long-term memory, but I've done a ton of research on it myself, and dementia is very, very different. Like once you reach like 30, it can even happen before that, and this is all over YouTube. You can watch this stuff. It's very common to walk into a room, forget what you were there for. It's very common to forget what you said. It's very common to be like, wait, I was on what chapter in the book or what show? That actually becomes very, very common, and I didn't know this until recently, that there are like different types of dementia. It's not just all Alzheimer's. It's not just all aging and that side of thing. But that's part of what, DC, where people are like, wait a minute, she just smoked all of us and didn't just smoke us. We were all like, good Lord, if she's got dementia, what does that say about the rest of us? Meds, no meds, anything. Let me ask a question.
Wait, can I just comment on what you just said? Can you say what because you actually just answered your own question. So you're talking about long-term and short-term. I mentioned this before. She can tell you what color the outfit was that she was wearing when she spun in the yard and hit the tree with her nose. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia and just. You hit the porch. Were you spinning around the tree? I don't remember the story, Mom. Yeah, see, I don't remember the story, but she's over here correcting me. She said she hit the porch. She wasn't spinning around and hit the tree. She hit the porch. But I just meant the details in the story from her childhood, from long ago, even from her young adulthood, from the Air Force life. But did I remember to eat this morning? What did I eat this morning? Did I forget to call that guy that I was supposed to call first thing? Mom, did you make that call? Did you ask the lady to come pick up the stuff? Oh, I forgot to call her. Where's her number? And then, that kind of thing. And that's the difference. It's not just what did I walk into the room for? Because that's happens to everybody. Like you said, over the age of 30, it starts to go. Don't sneeze, you'll hurt your back. And, what did I walk in the room for? But I know my mother-in-law. I've known her for 25 years. I can tell the difference between how she has progressed and how it has gotten better when she started taking the medication. That's why I did not trust her to drive. When she told me the story about getting behind the wheel and not remembering how to drive the car, that was when she went and talked to the doctor and she went on to the Aricept. And is that right? Aricept? It's Aricept? Yeah. And I could tell the difference right away. Not right away, but after a month or so, I could tell the difference. She was no longer having those. I forgot things. Where's my wallet? Just like normal everyday things. It's gotten better. But
Have you looked at how common those things are with somebody who's also severely depressed
and stressed?
Well, yeah, but this was before she was depressed and stressed. This is what I'm saying. This was years ago. This was years ago. We didn't have this kind of negative life that we have now back then.
I just think that she deserves the right to at least
I told her she can go. She can do whatever she wants to. However, Mona, let me ask you something. If your dad wasn't able to take care of himself very well and you noticed that he stopped eating, his clothes are falling down, he doesn't wash his hair as much, or, he just never comes out of the house, would you be okay with that? Would that be okay? Yeah. It would be?
Yeah, it would, because it's not my place, even though he's my father, to tell him what he can and can't do.
Well, I'm not saying what he can and can't do, but wouldn't you be concerned? I'm not saying she can't do anything.
But yet again, I'm not going to sit there and tell him or try to talk him out of it. Because I think
you're not going to try to talk him out of the house or try to remind him to take a shower, or Dad, you should really get in the shower, your skin's starting to break down, or Dad, you really should eat something. You wouldn't do that?
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
Yeah.
If he wanted to move out,
she told you from her own mouth. I'm not trying to tell her she can't move out. So you have to stop going there. But I'm just talking about, do you guys really think that she will be okay? I mean,
yes,
if it's
I do.
Oh, okay. And how do you know this?
I just know.
Well, you don't just know, Mona. You don't live with her. You haven't lived with her for the last 10 years. You haven't known her since she was 50.
Do what she wants to do with you talking like that, Jerry. You acting like she's not even sitting there.
Well, first of all, she can only hear me when she pulls the earbuds out. That's why she keeps having to say, when I ask her questions, it keeps getting delayed because she's got to take the earbuds out. I don't say anything about her that I haven't said to her. That's one thing. Okay? I would never do that. That's rude and that's childish, and I didn't like it in high school when kids were doing it in high school and you were allowed to do it in high school. I don't do that. If I've discussed it with her, I will discuss it with you. I will not do anything behind her back. All right?
Can I say something?
Absolutely. Whoever this is.
Hi, this is Jan.
Oh.
This is
Jan SW?
You used to call me as Jan Southwest
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, Jan South.
Yeah.
I said Jan SW.
I've watched you for a long time, Jerry.
Yes.
I was actually started watching you at a difficult time in my life.
Yeah.
So, your channel actually meant a lot to me. It really did.
Thank you.
And I just want you to listen to what I have to say here. You've had 5 people in this live with you, and you have run over top of everybody pretty much this entire time. And I don't know that you know that you're doing. I don't know that you do, but I just can only imagine how Jim and Sally might feel sitting in the house and not being able to get a word in edgewise. I really do feel like sometimes they don't feel like they have many choices because you make the choices for everyone.
Oh, hardly, yeah.
No, I believe that.
Jan, but it's not true, so you can believe it all you want.
Videos that I've seen.
What do you mean?
Just from your own videos, the things that you share. I mean, you haven't stopped for a breath.
Me?
You have not stopped for a breath.
You might have to rewatch this.
No, I don't need to rewatch it. I've been watching it the whole time.
Jan, I appreciate what you're saying.
Here's my thing. You really did mean a lot to me.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that.
The day that you came online with Jim and sat on the couch, and it was the day that he had come home from the hospital. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know the live.
There and talked about how upset you were, how it affected your life.
Mm-hmm.
How you wanted to eat his food in the hospital.
What?
Oh, you did. Go back and watch.
I wanted to eat your food in the hospital?
No.
Yes. Anyway.
Oh, the cherry out of his fruit cocktail, maybe? Because he doesn't like cherries? I said, was it the cherry out of his fruit cocktail? Because he doesn't like fruit cocktail cherries? Okay.
Not a clue. Anyway,
Well, to know
my
before
point
you
was that
speak,
was the
you
day that I
get-
walked away. I had been sitting on the fence for a really long time.
Well,
But
that's
you
fine.
showed that man zero empathy that day.
On that
Zero
video.
empathy for what he had gone through.
On that video.
Maybe you showed him a ton of empathy off camera, but I have to say what you show us isn't maybe what you think you're showing us.
Well, that's fine.
Shut
You don't have to like me, Jan. I'm glad I was there for you when you needed me, and if I'm not there for you anymore, that's fine. But I don't think it's necessary.
You're not there for me, my choice, not yours.
I know. That's what I just said. If I'm not here for you now, I'm sorry about that.
Maybe you need to listen to the people that you live with. Like, let them speak.
Jan didn't want to come on, Jeri. She really is so fair. And when she told us her story, she was like, she is so fair. And I just cannot stress to you enough to lose her. This is not something we can influence. She told us I was one of the very last to hang on and try to justify the Jeri that I thought I knew from the Jeri that I see, and just the appalling things that would just, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Jan, but I'm just,
That's fine.
she didn't want to do this to you. She still doesn't want to hurt you.
I don't want to hurt you, Jeri. I don't want to hurt you. I went to the bakery to defend you. I was in the bakery. I was scared shitless. Let me tell you, I was in there under a fake name. I went in there to defend you. And I defended you in your live chats. I defended you in your comments. I even emailed you very early on because
I remember.
I spoke to someone in your chat and I felt bad for bringing that to your channel. I emailed you and told you and apologized.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay. I remember.
But you don't care.
It's not that I don't care. I don't agree. That's the difference.
You don't agree with what?
I don't agree that I've talked over everybody since Joni took over. I think we've been pretty civil. I don't do that to my family. I do not do that to my family. Now, here's the thing that you may not know, and maybe this influences my speech patterns. And I know you guys hate to hear this kind of bullshit from me, but I have ADHD, and one of the biggest things is interjecting my commonality. So then you interject your commonality into the conversation so that you can let the person know that you know where they're coming from, but it looks to the other person like you might be taking over the conversation. That's a big one. And I've been guilty of that forever, and I didn't even know why. I thought I was just being rude and trying not to every time. I try every time not to be rude, but I always have to give my personal not vision, experience. I couldn't think of the word experience. Forgive me. So that's just, and I found out it's because I had ADHD and I didn't know it. So, and Jan, look, here's the thing. I do appreciate that all that you said and you've done for me. I really do. I appreciate everything that everybody said and done for me. The problem I'm having now is, first of all, I'm never in a million years since I started YouTube in 2016, the first year of YouTube, I tried very, very hard to make everybody happy. And I realized in that first year, that was never going to happen because there were 100,000 people with 100,000 experiences and 100,000 feelings and 100,000 opinions. And it was no longer my place to make everybody happy. All I could do is live my authentic life. I share what comes out of my mouth at the moment, how I'm feeling at the moment. I know it comes back on me because I said this and now I feel this differently. Of course, I'm a person. I can hate you on Tuesday and I can love you on Wednesday. I'm a person. I'm a woman. That's my prerogative. So I appreciate that. And I'm sorry that what I've done since has offended you. My sister one of my sisters actually doesn't talk to me as much as she used to because of that situation. My husband.
If it's not just me, and it's not just the 5 or 6 people on the panel, and it's not just your sister,
Sure.
and it's not just all the people in the chat that see the same things, could you maybe glean a little bit from that and think maybe there's an opportunity for change?
No, because that wouldn't be my authentic self. Why would I want to change who I think I'm supposed to be?
Because it's affecting your family.
Oh, no, it's not. It hasn't affected my family up until I got sick. Do you understand that? I don't think you guys understand that.
I think maybe it's built up over time.
You think so?
And maybe, yes, I do. I think maybe.
Okay.
I think the dog has maybe pushed Sally over the edge.
It's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah.
It is, and maybe Sally just wants to live on her own.
That's fine. And I told,
that should really be up to her.
And I told Sally to go live on her.
Without you guilting her and saying, "Oh, well, you're just going to leave us here on our own."
No, I didn't.
I've looked after you all these years.
Jan,
you're going to leave me alone.
Jan, I did not say any of that. I did not say that. I said, why pick now? That's what I said. Why pick now? It's not the same thing. I want to know what her reasoning is for it to be now. And I know that the dog has made things worse, but Mom was here and agreed to get the dog because Jim wanted a dog. Now, every time the dog drives Jim crazy, he's like, I didn't want the dog. But I sent him the text messages last night because he said it last night one more time and it just threw me over the edge. I sent him the whole conversation we had in the text messages about how sad he was. And was everybody mad at me because I wanted the dog? And I sent the whole text message chain to him. So I didn't go and get a dog.
Orio's an adorable dog. I don't really care about the dog right now. I care about Sally.
Yes, but you brought up the dog. You brought up the dog, and Sally agreed to get the dog.
I don't care about the dog. I'm not talking about the dog anymore.
But you did.
I'm talking about
Sally.
Right. To be free of that situation.
Right. Okay. So let her go. I did not say that she couldn't.
Let her go. You're the one that
I'm not holding on to her.
And let her house go.
I'm not gonna. It's not her house. It's her name on her deed. It's our house.
Let me ask the question.
That's got nothing to do with it when you're a fucking family. Her name is on the mortgage because she qualified for a better mortgage.
No one has cursed at you.
I curse because I'm from New York and they taught me how to curse when I'm upset. I don't care.
I'm from Canada.
Good.
Wow.
Nobody from Canada knows how to curse. Don't worry about it.
Do not cuss hard. All right.
I'm not cussing her. I'm cussing.
Let me ask a question, you guys. I'll ask a different one. I've seen it asked several times. So let me ask this one from people. So one question that people have asked, and I think they're trying to understand the owning the house thing, is one thing that people have said is, do you plan to, I hope I phrased this right, you guys, because there were several versions of it, about the pipe was $30,000.
No, 10.
Sally had to pay.
10.
So if you're doing proceeds, that would be taken off. So would the 18, forgive me if I give the wrong amount, however much that she gave you where she had to refinance the house for credit card debt. Those are both things that you're right, a family member did. That's not something a normal landlord would do. She did both of those things for you guys. That's now, if my math is right, that's $48,000 that she doesn't have. So people are not attacking you. They're just saying, do you understand
your math isn't right.
of that money as well.
Your math isn't right. Nowhere near it. As a matter of fact, I did mention earlier that the $10,000 she put into the pipes, plus a $7,000 credit card that she lent us to go track to New York, and then it ended up building up to $7,000. I said we should pay her back and it should get absorbed into the mortgage. That's exactly what I said a few minutes ago on the chat. I don't owe her any other money. I've paid her everything except for the money she lent me, $1,100 on a credit card, because I was under the impression that the the electric company was getting money from a program called MOCA, but the electric company basically redid their website and screwed up and didn't get any payment records to me. And then I ended up owing them $1,100. So she put it on a credit card so I could just pay her off in time instead of paying them off in time.
But if you were her, would you feel comfortable, family or not? Just, would you feel comfortable, because things do happen. If you guys default and she's still the one on the mortgage, it falls to her. So she's not really free. And I get it. That's kind to say, or not kind, but that's fair to say, let's absorb that. Let's pay mom back. That is right. So we'll give you credit for that you're saying, put that into the mortgage. But she's saying she wants to be free of the mortgage. That's just what she said to us. She wants to sell. And, if you guys can get the mortgage, go for it. That nobody's attacking you guys on that.
You're not listening to me, though.
Just not under her umbrella,
Joni.
where she is still the co-signer, or the owner. That's all anybody's saying, is where she can be free to where, when and if things happen, it doesn't default to her. That's what people say, and I do think that you may be hearing us wrong on some of that. They're not saying don't stay in the house. They're saying, can you guys go get the mortgage, and that way she's free. And then absolutely, Jim is, I know he loves us. Let him help, let her assure him and show him, okay, look, do you feel like this place where I'll be well taken care of, that kind of thing. Nobody's attacking you guys on that either.
I didn't say you were. Nobody said you were. Nobody said you were. Okay. What I want you guys to know, and I think it gets lost a lot, is that maybe our family dynamic is different than other family dynamics. Okay, what I was saying before, and this is no offense to mom, but we've covered it plenty of times inside this house off of the videos, is that she has changed her mind like 5 times in the last 6 months of the living situation. I understand she wants to live by herself right now. She does. But she said just barely 3 months ago that she did not want to live by herself. So you understand that you guys aren't privy to all of the stuff that goes on in the house. And I know that she said what she said, and I agree with her, and I told her to go and try it. But she also said she would try splitting this house, and then she went back on that. So you do understand, like, there's a lot of...
You're right.
There's a lot of...
You did say a minute ago, though, by your own words, you said that I'm a woman, I'm inclined to change my mind.
Oh, she's allowed.
Like you one day, I can dislike you the next.
Oh.
Well, that would be the same thing as what you're saying Sally's doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the difference that I'm mentioning really quick is when I say I'm mad at my husband on Tuesday and I love my husband on Wednesday, it doesn't affect anybody else but me and my husband. When mom decides she wants to sell, she wants to stay, she wants to move, she wants her own apartment, she wants to get rid of it, that affects the whole family. You get that?
I get that.
So as a family, that's something we try to discuss. I'm sorry.
Are you sure that's what you want?
Of course, that's what she wants.
And she's the one who keeps coming back each day and saying, I feel so good. I got my car fixed. I feel so good. I got my tag done. I feel so good. I'm going to look at a place. And all of a sudden, she went from just the time when she first came into Discord. It about made me cry. I was like, my gosh, she seems so much happier now. She's like, I'm remembering I was depressed. I'm not eating. I wasn't eating. I wasn't taking care of myself. And you guys, when I was really depressed, I did that as well. I didn't have dementia. I was just so depressed at one point after I lost. I just didn't want to do anything but sleep. I lost so much weight. I was just and I saw that in Sally, and because she is older, I really was worried. I was like, oh, I'm so fearful that we are going to wake up one day and we're going to hear that Sally she's no longer with us. I really
drifted off in her sleep. Trust me. It's a nightmare I have every night.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is now, this is a woman who's on a mission. She's so excited to go do this. And then when we saw her do the trivia, I was like, good Lord, who is this? She's just so, and some of the trivia was new and some of the trivia was really old. So there was a mix. There was, like short-term and long-term memory stuff. She knew stuff that, like I said, I was just like,
I can't imagine she knew any new trivia. You know new trivia? She's not into anything now, pop culture. Like, that's okay. She said,
guys in the chat could know. I mean, from the
she said,
because when I'm running it,
I
do have ADHD.
She said,
multitask.
when you play trivia, you know new things and old things. But I'm like, you don't do any pop trivia, and I don't know what's TV.
You're right. Most of them were older, so
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
but she did answer some new ones, and maybe people can put in the chat some, if they remember an example. If not, just go back and.
No, that's no problem.
But
that's no problem.
Yeah, and then Carla, her friend, because we have said to Carla, we're like, Carla, we're so glad you're there in person because, again, we have said we don't want anything badly enough. Like, I think you think that we're so your enemy that we're just like, get out of there, drop them on their butts, do this, do that. People have gotten that. There are some people that have gotten that ugly that just, will never be pleased. But for the most part, this is a community of people that all supported you before. They don't hate you. I know you saw how heated everybody got, but you know that people don't get that way if they don't have passionate care to a certain extent. You could say most of that's for Sally at this point, but it's there regardless. And, the apologies I've seen about your cancer have been genuine. People just want her. So like with Carla, the example is, we were like, Carla, we're so glad you're there in person, a 3D friend. Because my husband still makes fun of me because he's like, are those your 2D friends? You haven't met them, that kind of thing in person. And so we're like, Carla's 3D. She can go see, and Carla literally has said, this is so awesome. In other words, where I'm getting to is she mind at ease that because we want, Jerry, I don't want to be wrong about your mom and have her go live somewhere and not be able to take care of herself and her not. I hope you understand that. And so Carla has really said, she's really put our mind at ease by saying, I fully believe she can do this. I don't remember her exact sentences, but she's like, I'm so excited to see her getting her new life, going and doing these things. So we felt better about that as well. So we really we don't live there with her. That's true. Carla doesn't either, but Carla didn't say she did either. She just was like, this is, I don't know that she said this sentence, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it was basically along the lines of, I don't doubt for a minute that Sally can do this. She's got this. Mona, what, not the impression that you got from Carla that because we aren't there in person to see her, and again, I get it. We don't live there in person, in the home.
In the same respect, though, I'm a little different because I talk to her and have for a while every day.
That's true. I don't have that.
And I'm not gonna ever feel bad for caring about her. I'm not. I love her. I mean, like, she's like my grandma. No, she's not my mother, and she's not my mother-in-law, but like, she means a lot to me.
I don't think she's old enough to be grandma.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, she means a lot to me.
I know, she means a lot to me too.
I don't know how to describe the fact that these girls will tell you that I have never doubted her. I've always been right there. In the same respect, though.
What do you mean you never doubted her for what?
I don't candy coat things with her either. And even she'll tell you that. Like, it's not all about, oh, Sally, you're right, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that. I'm very honest with her.
You believe, Mona, can you tell me what you said? You said, I believe in her. What do you mean you believe in her? Like,
I believe in what she wants.
Well, I know what she wants.
So,
I know what she wants. She told me what she wants. I told her she can have what she wants.
Yeah, but you say that. I don't see
Mona, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. When I tell you something.
He wants to say something.
Well, so do I. When I
just want to try. I'm not going to be rude or anything. I get what you're saying. Like, this is our house. I understand kind of where you're coming from. But I do have to say that Sally purchased it. There was no down payment put down on the house. She did a VA loan. Basically, you and Jim are renters. When you look at it, so if Sally wants to move, there should be no fight. There really should. She's a grown woman. You guys are grown. You're in your 50s. I get what it's like to have family around. I mean, you see my son and my grandkids and my daughter-in-law, they were living with me. You see that. Jerry, don't say you don't watch because you do.
I don't. Not unless somebody says, hey, she's doing something. Okay, I do. You're right. I forgot you were in my brain, Daddy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not your house, it's Sally. If she wants to move, it's her right.
Absolutely.
You can't stay in the house. You can't just say, well, it's our house.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sally's house.
Okay.
You're condescending.
I am condescending because you're full of shit. Listen, when you live with a landlord, you don't cook the landlord's food. You don't make sure the landlord's got laundry detergent. You don't make sure the landlord's taking their meds. It's not a landlord situation. I do not rent a room from my mother-in-law. We live as a family.
Just like you said you did in your PPP loan?
I didn't say in my PPP loan that I pay rent.
Okay.
They ask you what your house expenditures are, and I add up what I put into the house. Yes, I do. But I did not call it rent. As a matter of fact, even on my food stamp application, I say that my mother-in-law gives us $40 a month. That's what I took. So I don't know what you're talking about. Besides that, all of that to be said. This is not a decision that isn't open to a forum. This is not a decision that should be open to a forum. Okay? My mother-in-law, when she said she wanted to go to assisted living, I said,
and if Jim doesn't have the...
How does Jan think I keep talking over you when you won't let me finish a sentence? How does everybody think I'm talking over you when you won't let me speak? Can I get a turn? Fuck. I did not. I haven't had a turn in 20 minutes. Or exaggerated 20 minutes. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh, yeah, real exaggerated.
Yeah. What? What did you say? No, I didn't hear you. I'm asking you to prove what you said. I heard real exaggerated.
I'm muted. Sorry. I had to. Another. Another. Do whatever. Because y'all were doing that before. Now all of a sudden you're cleaning sober off that too?
What are you talking about? The T.
You put on your live. You know, the THC.
Yeah, the THC I was doing when I was in pain. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I can't afford it anymore. But thank you. I don't even get CBD gummies anymore because it's not in my budget.
Move into housing you could afford. Get your free phone. Get your low internet.
The free phone service isn't good. It's not good service.
Shit service.
Really, Jerry?
Yeah.
Through Verizon.
What?
Really?
It's not through Verizon. It's from.
SafeLink is through Verizon. SafeLink is through Verizon.
SafeLink. What's that?
Tell you everything.
No, Consumer Cellular is what they have here. They don't have SafeLink here. They have Consumer Cellular here, and it's not through Verizon. It's through Consumer Cellular. I'm sorry?
Jerry, I looked it up. They have SafeLink in your area, Rolla, Missouri.
State WIC? Like women, infant, and children?
No, SafeLink.
Oh, SafeLink. Okay. But that's not what I get free on Medicaid. I'm eligible to get reduced phone service and reduced internet service.
Cell phone service. No, she's not letting me fucking talk. Back to where you're real. Dave. I said it's SafeLink. It's a free phone service in Rolla, Missouri through Verizon Wireless. And I ain't scared of Jim, so don't show him.
I'm not showing anybody. I'm pulling the phone away from my ear, whack job.
Yo, I got one whack job.
Jim.
No, kick me out. I'm so mad because she's not but a liar. Okay.
Why is she on here? Who invited her?
I just said kick me out.
I don't give a shit.
No, we're not kicking anybody
No.
out. Everybody is heated about this.
No, it's not everybody.
Jerry, here's what
It's
I
no, it's my. Can I please talk? Can I please have a moment?
Shut up!
Jim, I'm not going to shut it off. I'm just going to demand my time.
Shut it off before I fucking have a goddamn coronary.
Well, Jim said I have to go now. So if you guys want to join, Mona's got the link to my live. It's still running on my YouTube channel.
It's probably best to end
All right, bye-bye.
Jim having a coronary.
Bye, Jim. It's done. I hung up. Bye, everybody. Sorry about all this. I have no idea what's happened or what's posted or what you heard. I don't know if you could hear them or hear me or you're screaming. You're writing in the chat. I don't know what's going on. But apparently, Didi is got her, I don't know, shit phone service or shit internet service, but she was a step behind. And every time I thought she was done talking, I tried to talk, so I was talking on top of her. She was the one who kept interrupting me. Whatever. Whatever it is, it is. Listen, I don't care. This is our family, and it's between us. And we're going to make it work between us, whatever it is. Whether we move and buy our own house, or we move into an apartment, or mom moves into an apartment, or assisted living, or to Timbuktu. We will work it out, because it's our family. Okay? And as always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. And remember, if nobody told you loved, you can always combine how much I love you, because I love you guys very much. Bye. And I don't know how to shut this one off.